Ooh. What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody is having a great week and an even better Thursday. We are one day away from the weekend. Holy hell.
Yeah, what's happening this weekend, guys?
Living in hell because it's over 100 degrees here.
We're all in hell. That's all. That's what's going on this weekend. We're all burning in hell.
I am going to have a little glow on my face this whole show because it's a warm one.
Well, my name is John, and I decided to wear a long sleeve shirt to the stream like a complete idiot. But it's Bammer's birthday, so I thought I thought it would make sense. Yeah, it's his birthday today.
Is that why people were sharing that? I saw people were sharing the little video of him throwing Spike Dudley into the crowd today, which is just a precious moment.
Ugh. I loved Bam Bam Bigelow, but that's not what this podcast is about. I'm joined by my tag team partner in Rumbleverse, Neeson. Hello,
champions,
how are you?
Champions, by the way. Champions. We won. I am great. I am sweating balls. Definitely just sitting, just literally drenched in sweat for the past, I don't know how many days. It sucks. I don't want to hear anybody that stays in the South Beach or closer to the water talk about, oh, it's so hot. It's 80 degrees. Shut your mouth, okay? It is 110 plus degrees over here, and I'm just boiling hot. And I went to shout out a friend of the show, Max Landis. Went to his set today, and there was no AC on the set, and 110 degree weather, and he's shooting in a full 3-piece suit, a 3-piece suit. This man
the Flash stuff.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm actually gonna be in it, and I'm actually gonna be somebody. He gave me a rose, so
that's cool.
Yeah.
Can you give us any what's the role? Tell us the deets.
I cannot give you the role. I am not a spoiler.
No, it's just us. Just between us.
All right. So look, here's the thing. But I suggest if anybody hasn't watched this stuff on his Flash Superman stuff on YouTube, please watch it. It's incredible, and it's all one man writing this and shooting it with one camera guy. It's really genius work, and I'm just happy to be a little part of it.
Well,
but actually playing
I don't like the way you like to pretend us people who live in the South Bay near the water aren't having the heat wave. You're not. Typically just because I'm near I usually have a nice cool ocean breeze coming through doesn't mean that I'm also not struggling.
Jack, that is minus a point for you.
On the show. Let me do the intro because I actually don't think Jack and I have ever done a show.
Really?
We have not.
Together. We've just been in passing, and we've taken a picture, and then we just walk away, and that's the end of it. But no, that's not
shout out Dynamite. Shout out
Dynamite. Not a dig. That's just what happened.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of stories with me involved.
We are joined by one of the hosts of MACKMANIA, which you can find on Spotify for Ringer every Tuesday. A man who's draped in gold. Jack Farmer, hello. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate the draped in gold reference. This is kind of breaking news, but this week was our last episode of Draped in Gold. We hung it up. We finished with NXT UK. We figured if they're hanging it up, we'll hang it up, and it's time, I think. Now, Monj, minus points. Monj, what are you doing?
How are you? Like, I saw that today. You guys were like, all right, we're done with the show. How are you? I mean, it's been like a couple of hours since you guys wrapped up the last show. How are you feeling right now?
A little bummed. It's hard to end a show. I don't know offhand if you guys have had shows that you've done and you've like kind of poured your heart into, but then eventually you had to say, I think it's time. it's always a little hard. It's probably the way parents feel when they send their kids off to college, where you're like, it's bittersweet. Kind of bummed about it, but at the same time, I think that it's always better to end on your own terms than it is to carry something on and have it just fizzle out because for whatever reason you're not fully into it anymore. So I think it was the right thing, but right now it's still a little bit like, oh, my Thursdays are open, huh?
Yeah.
You know what's amazing about that though is that from my knowledge of you and Flobo's relationship, you guys did AfterBuzz together, and then you guys did Draped in Gold, and then now you're back on, with Evan and doing MACKMANIA. It's like you guys, even though you had this thing that died out, you guys still will live on always in some way. You guys are always paired together in any universe there is. It's such an amazing thing to watch and see. So it is a goodbye, but it's still continuing on, guys.
I mean, he is the Marty Jannetty to my Shawn Michaels, always in the same conversation, always you talk about him together all the time, and as long as he's not here to defend himself, I think he'll agree.
I mean, look, hey,
we'll ears could be burning.
Yes. Well, he's not going to get here fast enough. Here's the barbershop window, fella.
I'm all about the Flobo hate, until we square off one-on-one on the meaningless list.
The meaningless debates. Yeah.
The meaningless debates.
Speaking John, we got to get you on the meaningless debates.
I await my invitation.
Well, I
have to face this guy, huh?
You better check your I would love nothing more than to be a home wrecker on this show.
Are you a wedge driver? Are you as a New Day? Are you a wedge driver, Jack? I'm not facing my forever tag team partner, this guy. Okay?
There's nothing I love more than breaking up friendships.
Gosh.
Oh no.
Dylan's in the chat.
That's gonna be a gift.
Get out of here.
All right, so before we we went live, we were sitting here and I believe I said I think this is the most wrestling in 1 week in I think I just threw a number out there, 15 years. It sounds about right. I remember way back when I was like, wow, Raw and then SmackDown and then Thunder and then wow, I have so much wrestling to watch. This is great. Oh my God, no, it's not, guys. It's a nightmare. There's 20 plus hours of wrestling this week. And we're going to preview some of the special events / pay-per-views that are going to be happening this weekend.
I think the question on everyone's mind when it comes to all this wrestling is you've got Clash the Castle and you've got Worlds Collide. Will those two shows combined be as long as All Out?
No, absolutely not.
All Out is 3 Undertaker entrances long.
Yes,
right.
We've measured it. We have the measuring scale. No, just spoiler for everybody. We're probably going to do a post show on All Out. It'll be at 1 a.m. Local time. But yeah, we'll be doing it. Oh my God. No, I don't think those two shows will be as long as All Out because we have the pre-show, the pre-show, and then some other stuff. I don't know. All Out is 10 hours.
Shit. It's 10
Watch your mouth, Matthew. Okay? Go Sky, but watch your mouth, Matthew. Why do you have to see this is what happens. This is what happens when you talk about breaking up tag teams, Jack. You bring up breaking up the New Day once again.
You can't break up the New Day.
No,
they've already broken up. When was last time all three of them were together? I mean, how long do they get to have this?
Kofi and Xavier are on every Friday night. They are together.
He's hurt. Yeah, but look, before that, Woods was away. Like all three of them haven't been in the ring together in like 2
they
years.
were right before Big E got injured. All three of them were together. The three of them were together. That's when Big E got injured.
Feels a little fishy to me.
You know what? Don't dive into Matthew's just idiocracy over there, okay?
I don't know. I think Matthew might be on to something.
Matthew's on to nothing.
Matthew was on to nothing.
I mean, Woods already got his own theme song. I mean,
he had his own theme song. You know why? Because New Day are together, Jack baby. You know what, Mac? You know what? I would say I hope the Sky lose, but I like the Sky. Okay, I like the Sky.
All right. So this is a question for you guys and chat as well. Clash at the Castle is our first show. 10 a.m. local time. I'm excited about that.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I forgot all about the time. I was going to tune in at like 5 o'clock.
No. 10 a.m. I'll remind you again. But
I forgot all about that. Oh, wow. Thank you for the reminder.
You're welcome. I mean, big Doctor Who fan. I'm used to things being 8 local time in London and 11 a.m. here. So I was like, I better check. 3 a.m. Sunday for you? Jeezy crazy. Well, I mean, this is a pretty stacked card.
Yeah.
I'll be honest here. And it's kind of hard to choose. But if you had to, what match are we looking forward to the most here? And chat, hit us up with your which match you're looking forward to the most as well. Jack, we'll go with you first. What are you looking forward to here?
There's actually a lot of very spicy matchups on this card that I'm looking forward to. And my heart wants to say that Intercontinental title match. My heart wants to say that those guys are going to tear it up, but there's just so much intrigue and potential history in the world title between Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns. This could be one of the biggest matches of all time because it could be ending what I think is the greatest single title run in history, or it could just continue that run. So the sheer just spectacle and history of what the world title is, I know that's not a fancy pick, but that's the draw for me. That's the biggest one.
Neeson, and then Matthew will address your question, which you're bringing up for the first time in 3 years since I've been in this room.
It's also been like dark and like with lights. So I'm honestly have to say the Riddle and Rollins. That has been my match. Especially after Monday, I think it has the most heat behind it. I know what they're doing with Drew in the top line and all that. I meant the top tier title, Bloodline and top line. Put it together. But with Bloodline, what they're doing is fantastic. I think it's a lot of questions circling around that main event. But when we talk about going into the actual pay-per-view premium live event, whatever you want to call it, with some legitimate also, storyline heat and backstage used to be heat, whatever it may be, able to blend those together. I think they did such a great job with getting fans a little bit more of like, why do these guys hate each other sort of thing. We know it was all Randy and the whole thing before, but now it's like, oh, it's gotten more personal. And so I want to see this match start with a fight. I want to see it start. I don't even think I want to see entrances. Like, I think they should just start by it's on site. Like they did the NXT parking lot bit. Like it's on site whenever you see him. It's like the chicken and Peter Griffin. That's what I want Rollins and Riddle to be forever. Just the chicken and Peter Griffin fighting the minute they see each other until one is broken and they have to sit there and like shake hands until we see each other on Monday. That's what I want to see.
I hope something that doesn't happen is when I get really hyped for like a grudge match and they get in the ring and then they lock up and I go, well, they've lost me already.
Because they're not fighting.
Just lock up. I'm like, what?
They can't lock up. They can't. It is no way. You bet, man. If we see a lockup, yeah, I'm gonna just go on my phone and tweet it. That's all I'm doing.
I think if there's the build up for that match, by the way, that I think what we're all excited about is that interview that we saw on Monday and the whole talking about their families and stuff. And it's just, I think something that the WWE has been doing for so long is that they think the only way to build up matches is to have people in the same match over and over again. But these guys have barely been on TV, and it's one of the most fascinating matches on this show. And it just shows us how like it doesn't take much to make me interested. I love this.
It doesn't. It doesn't. It's so great. What about you, Pingle? What are you looking forward to?
I mean, honestly, I think the Sheamus Gunther match for me is probably the match I'm looking forward to the most. It's hard though. Look at him. He's ready to. They're both ready to fight at all times. And
Gunther looks 45.
imagine the visual of the aftermath of the chops.
Yes,
it's gonna be brutal, and I believe that'll be Sheamus's face after the chops. But these guys are gonna beat the hell out of each other, and I'm excited about that. But up and down, the card looks amazing. Matthew, this is a sink. This is our second bedroom. For some reason, the sink is here, and then there's a door over here that goes into the bathroom. So there you have it. Over here, a bunch of stuff that is not bathroom related. So there you go, behind the curtain.
The magic of Hollywood.
Blew my cover. Matthew, you've been in the stream for 7 years, and you're just now noticing. Yeah, he's going to be full red.
Who do you want to win, Sheamus and Gunther? Like, not who's your prediction, not who you think is going to win, but who does your heart pick? Who do you want to win?
I want, you know what? I want however we could get to Jey Uso being an Intercontinental Champion. So I don't know if we get Sheamus, the complete set of titles he can hold up in his underwear again, or we can have Gunther win and then have main event Jay take down Gunther and add it to the bloodline. Whatever that takes and that road is, that's who I want to win, because I want the main event Jey Uso with the title.
Sheamus has held every title, right? There isn't a title
except
he
the
hasn't
Intercontinental.
Except the Intercontinental.
Oh, okay. I figured that was I was like, there's one he's missing. Honestly, I think I would like Sheamus to win because of that. I think he's just been WWE. He's just been consistent throughout, and I think he deserves this accolade. So, I think that's who I would like to see win.
I say this is the perfect pro wrestling, these two and what they're doing, because I feel like you can look at them and you visually can tell who they are, what they're about. You know, their characters jump off based on who they are, but they're both
the same age.
They're both the same age. They're both just hard hitting. You know, they talk about the unstoppable force, immovable object. These guys are just both unstoppable forces coming at each other. Yeah. And you can instantly pick one. Like, I want this one to win, or I want that one to win, or whatever. It's simple. I love it. This is going to be such a cool matchup. I'm going Sheamus because I'm part Irish, and I don't know. Throw that out there. Why not?
Fair enough.
I got that. That's literally the whole. That's literally the whole thing. I don't know. I like them both.
There's some bias to that there, but okay.
If there's one thing you should know about me,
this is all right. True. I'm just gonna throw it out. Does the reign of Roman Reigns continue, or is this the end of it?
It continues.
Jack, take it away.
Sorry, Denise, I gotta jump in. You know what? I'm looking at Twitter right now. I'm looking at Twitter these days, and I'm frustrated. I'm upset because
tell them why you're mad, son.
I'm mad because for 2 years you have had these phonies going around saying acknowledge the tribal chief, holding up their fingers, saying that Roman is great. And now, as soon as things get a little worrisome, as soon as things aren't necessarily easy to pick, they're all jumping ship. They're all pretending like they didn't acknowledge the tribal chief. They're all pretending like they didn't live on the island of relevancy for 2 years. Well, no. Roman Reigns is the tribal chief. He's going to keep it. Everyone else is the twos. They the ones. I'm throwing it up. Tribal chief, and everyone I hear pick Drew McIntyre. You're done throwing up the ones. I don't want to see it anymore. You're off the island of relevancy.
How far is he from San Martino?
Let's
do it.
San Martino versus tribal chief?
No, I'm saying like consecutive days as world champ.
He's what is he at? Are we doing 7? Is it 700?
Well,
600?
We're 720, I believe.
So he's like 300 plus days a whole.
Let's do it. One more year.
You know what? I say let's do it. Let's just round up. I think he's already past him.
Oh, there you go.
I'll just round it up. He has 2 titles. Shouldn't it be counted as 2 days at this point each day?
Oh, yeah, it should. I agree.
This is very true.
Like a power.
Yeah,
like a power.
It's a double.
Who played the card?
But also, I look at this title reign. I think it's the greatest title reign of all time. I think as far as a single title reign, he has so many Hall of Famers and future Hall of Famers he's been beating like month in and month. Now this past couple months, not month in and month out, but you know what I mean. It's basically month in and month out.
Listen, it counts all the time, but when it counted, when there was nobody in the crowd and we were just trying to stay relevant for the whole COVID thing, I think he was the dude in that company that made things very interesting, in my opinion. Neeson's heavy side seems to
because I agree with you. I agree with everything everybody's saying, and it's such a tough thing. Look, I could say, usually I would say I'm hopping off the boat and bury me at sea with the rest of my ancestors. Shout out to Killmonger. And I will live amongst that. But when you have people like Johnny Gargano, which is their Daniel Bryan since Daniel Bryan, which is the biggest baby face of the baby faces, the underdog of the underdogs. Like, you don't have a corporate entity, or you don't have any sort of governing faction that the system is going to hold him down. You have the bloodline. And if you're going to have an underdog, you're going to need someone that big to conquer eventually. And so does Roman lose? No, Roman doesn't lose. But then you hear rumblings about the Fiend maybe sneaking his way to Cardiff. Now, if one person does have a gripe with the tribal chief, it's the man that said, I made you.
Anybody but you, Roman.
Anybody but you. And Roman came back, smashed him out the company. He has a legitimate gripe. Now, Braun Strowman has signed and will be there Monday. I made you a monster, Roman said. He's back on Monday. So if Roman does happen to lose to Drew, or it's a theory, or happen to win, rather, there's a slew of other competitors that is right there. And then not to mention the man, the prodigal son returning at Royal Rumble, it seems like, that is like pinned in to win. Yes, the Cody Rhodes. It's really nuts. So when you say jump off the boat, it's easy to jump off the boat. It's easy to be like, you know what? Yeah, because of all these things. But honestly, when you talk about having the greatest title reign, I think it's just beginning. Listen to all the people that I named that he has not beat one-on-one straight.
I mean, yeah, that's the beauty of what I think. We got to acknowledge how good WWE has been in this, because Roman Reigns, and I'm sure we'll talk about some other stuff down in a little bit, but Roman Reigns has been crushing people for 2 years straight, dominating people, just going through everybody. Like I said, Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers, former champions. Yet, if you told me that he's going to have a matchup next with maybe a rematch with Drew, I'd go, oh, that's going to be good. Rollins, ooh, he could beat him. Cody down the road, you could convince me that Riddle could be feisty in a match with him. Kevin Owens, the way he's going, Bobby Lashley, not to mention if Braun or the Fiend come back. He still has so many people that if you said they're going to do a match, you'd go, yeah, they might be able to do it. It's crazy.
And he's only working like 4 times a year.
And if you told me Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso, you talked about that too. By the way, I think you want a story. Jey Uso being the one to end the reign and being the one that I should have stopped this long ago guy. I think that is the story. I'm not betting he's going to be the one to take the title, but I feel like from a story, Jey Uso is the guy to do it.
Crop Top Jey is a champion. All right. Crop Top Jey. He has a crop top, so his shoulder championship belt. Our title. That's where the title lives. Right there. Mm-hmm. Crop top title, baby. Crop Top Jey.
So who's the biggest threat then? Who's the biggest threat to Roman's reign? I'm so sorry. I'll just leave now.
No. I wanted to say the biggest threat to Roman Reigns' reign is Cody Rhodes still. Cody Rhodes. I think that's the money. If you're gonna take the title off a man, or if somebody's gonna beat the man for a championship and be the face of the company, the man that has the potential to beat him is the man that was a face of a company and didn't even have the main title in another promotion that helped build it, Cody Rhodes.
I mean, the biggest threat to Roman Reigns is Roman Reigns himself heading off to Hollywood. That's the truth. No, I think that if I'm really picking the most dangerous person, it's got to be Drew McIntyre.
Gotta be Flobo?
Oh, Flobo. Flobo, I want you to know, before you came here, these two were calling you Floey Janetti.
What?
What?
Yeah. That sounds on brand.
Wait. Replay the tape.
Yeah, you should have heard they were talking about tag teams.
I believe that.
They're Jack, you're kind of like a Shawn Michaels, but Flobo's Floey Janetti.
I mean, I've heard you say that too, Jack. What's going on here? Why am I everyone's Janetti?
Flobo, how we doing, man?
We're good, man. I was a little nervous this afternoon, but I'm good. LGM.
Nervous about what?
That game. No, not the Yankees. The hell with the Yankees. They lost the Angels. They suck.
Nervous? It's just the Dodgers.
Just the Dodgers.
It's also just the Mets.
Oh, don't be like that. Don't be like that, Jack. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's the Seahawks, man. So's Alexa.
Lux got to field some pop-ups, huh? Got to figure that out.
Yeah, exactly. That was Gavin Lux. What was that about? Well, Gavin sucks. So what I missed?
Anyway.
We were talking about the biggest threat to Roman
Reigns, yes.
And I was about to say, Drew McIntyre is the next on the docket, and he's got a home field advantage. I still think the tribal chief is going to retain. I'm still holding up the ones, but if you're talking about the biggest threat, it's the one right in front of him.
That Karrion Kross, huh?
Oh, Karrion Kross? Is that a real threat?
No. I just wanted to bury him.
Okay. I love the new Karrion Kross. I love it. I think it's now he has a little something in him. No. Are we not a Karrion Kross fan?
I agree. He ain't
it. Pingle? You know,
no,
he ain't it. He's never been it. Sorry.
Wow.
Straight up is never. I'm sorry. I'm sure he's a great guy, but wow, what a boring time it was in NXT when he was around.
Thank you.
Okay, look, you don't have to tell me that. All they had to do was ring the effing bell for Adam Cole, baby. So you don't have to tell me anything about how boring. Yeah.
He's not.
I don't think he's the biggest threat, but I would just really like, because it seems like we're reforming a friendship here. I would really like to see Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn down the line. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
But they did that. He like smashed them on SmackDown.
He did.
See, also, guys, this is. You said hesitant.
I saw it. I saw the tweets. He hesitated. He didn't want to hit his friend Kevin Owens because the referee could have saw it.
I think anything Sami Zayn does is going to be entertaining. I always say my fantasy booking has always been you build up Roman Reigns versus Rollins at the Rumble, and I don't care. You have Rollins beat him at Royal Rumble, but then you have the winner of the Royal Rumble be Cody, and then that way it frees up Roman to have his match with The Rock, and then you get Cody and Rollins. And can Rollins finally beat Cody, or will Cody finally become champion? You get both those at WrestleMania.
Ooh.
I think at some point Roman has to get it. Carrying these titles are getting heavy for him. Okay, he's pulling double duty. The man has 5 kids. The man has to take care. He has the whole WWE on his side. He legitimately has 5 kids. And
I don't know do that. Oh, 5 kids in that case. You're right.
I mean, he has 5 kids. He got to take care of multiple shows. He's carrying WWE. He's carrying NXT. He's gonna carry NXT Europe. He's gonna carry NXT Japan now since Triple H is like, I'm opening up Japan. Damn it, I promise. Like he's gonna carry that. NXT Africa. Imagine Roman Reigns in Nigeria or something. It's gonna be great. He's gonna be carrying NXT Africa. the man has to let go of one of those titles. And so maybe
does he know that? I think he might need a break at some point.
I mean, look, he's working 4 days out of the year now, you know. So he's a real old school champion. You talk about San Martino. He's wrestling like a San Martino. Like he's wrestling like once a year pretty much now.
Who's talking about San Martino now? It's 2022. Let's be real.
Wait, whoa. Pingle brought him up earlier and said he wanted him.
I brought him up.
Pingle, what are you doing?
Person on earth. I brought him up. What about Bruno?
Don't come at me.
Bruno some more.
Come on, those are days before closed circuit pay-per-views, man. Those days are long gone. It's a different era.
When did they get rid of the extra W?
It's not wide anymore. Back in my day, wrestling was wide.
I don't understand.
Why are they not smoking in arenas? What happened to that, huh? Good smoky arena. Give me.
I like my wrestling champions to have a big cigarette in their mouth when they're wrestling and to drink milk right in the middle of the match.
Yeah.
I guess Kurt Angle still does that. Drink beer in the middle of the matchup.
Kurt Angle. Yeah. But yeah, I think, you know, like we talked about. So it looks like Roman. I say Cody Rhodes. I think that's the only person that I have the potential to take the title off of him. But I think he's gonna have to drop one of those titles for some sake of saving a brand at some point. You have all this talent. They got people axing out of their contracts apparently to come back to go to war for Triple H. So, you know, he's gonna have to get another main title somewhere. Roman is gonna be squashing everyone that comes. It's gonna be Smash Town again.
Smash do that anyways.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
Smash Town anyway. It's Smash Island.
I mean, he has
of relevancy.
Yeah,
I mean, look, I don't care. I don't want him to separate the titles because no matter what you do, if you separate the titles, you could separate the titles if you want, but everyone's going to look at the other title like the secondary title. So it's not going to do any good.
Booking, though. But that's lazy booking.
Who do you give it? Like, imagine, okay, let's say Rollins gets the other title, but Roman Reigns has the main one, the universal one. You're still looking at Rollins' title like, it's not the real title. You're not closing the show. You're not closing any show with Reigns on it. You know, so if we're still looking at the title that Reigns is holding as the main title, who cares? Just elevate the U.S. title.
They need to separate them. I think.
Yes.
As somebody who actually likes the brand split, it's always, and it's been tragic because I believe the WWE title is the black one, and that is the main one. It hasn't been the main one like in 3 to 4 years. It's been Universal title. So like, I would love to do that just for the prestige rub, if you could imagine that. But it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. They'll keep them together because it's a prize of the game. Roman Reigns' story is pretty much at its apex. You can't go anywhere else. This is why I think Drew may actually win this weekend. Because if you take Roman Reigns out, you may have to have a workhorse champion, which is something we've needed for a long time.
Are you forgetting about the biggest man in the world right now?
Braun Strowman?
Satnam Singh?
Satnam Singh.
I'm talking about the Terramata drinking, the Project Rock wearing, the UFC partnering, the eyebrow raising, the biggest movie box office draw in the world right now.
Yo, almost got a movie. I'll check that out. One of those like mockbusters, you know what I mean? Like those fake movies.
That's where you go. They haven't jumped the shark yet. Okay, they have not jumped the shark yet. The Rock is still there. That is the big boulder in the sea.
Okay,
and so
you don't need the title.
Where else do you go? I agree with you. You don't need it for the title. You don't. But if we're talking about Hall of Fame runs, right, Jack? As we said earlier, if we talk about Hall of Fame runs, don't you think that if you want to chip off every single one of these people, you could beat Kevin Owens again, you could beat Sami Zayn again, you could beat Jey Uso again. It's only like 4 months away, or like 5 months away is WrestleMania, right? That's 5 different matches he has to have. I just named 5 different people. So The Rock at WrestleMania, he could win that, and then he could go about his merry way, and you know.
But that's the thing. So he's going to keep it. Then he's going to go through The Rock, but then he's going to lose it to who after that?
Right.
Johnny Gargano.
Stop. Your promotion is lame. Johnny Gargano?
What? Are you against Johnny Gargano?
I think it's time for us to. We got to admit that.
Oh
Johnny,
my God!
That
If you say it, don't.
We got to admit.
Jump through.
We got to admit that Johnny Gargano is one of the best.
You are 10 miles away. I will run there.
Let him finish.
He's one of the best at what he does in his prime. And he is an influential professional wrestler in a time and era where entertainment was the heavy hand. But if you think Johnny Gargano is going to cross over into those homes in Worcester, Massachusetts, in Wilkes-Barre, PA, in Scranton, you have another thing coming. Johnny Gargano.
Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan is not Johnny Gargano. Daniel Bryan was in a storyline where he was considered a B+ player for over a year. For over a year, that's how you get something go. But I have it right now. Gargano coming back, being like, "I was in NXT, a show a fourth of the SmackDown viewers watched. Give me the strap." Is crazy. And you think that's going to work, then it's not going to work, my friend.
I usually don't agree with Flobo, but I do here because I think to cross over, I think the person that needs to do it truly after WrestleMania is Logan Paul.
Yes.
Fucking
Logan
God.
Paul.
What the hell is wrong?
Squash match. Yeah.
Oh.
Logan Paul wins, gets the strap.
Yeah.
This is what happens when we open up Forbidden Doors and we allow MACKMANIA to come in. They talk about fucking Logan Paul
every Tuesday on Spotify.
Oh, I plugged it.
Logan
Could
Paul.
you imagine him
Roman
holding up
Reigns?
the Pokemon card in one hand and then the two titles in the other?
Pyro.
Oh, and then he melts it down into a 1-of-1 Pokemon card, and that's
oh my goodness! They merge and then they evolve, and then it's the Pokemon in the middle of the title.
Yeah,
you still got it.
Yeah, okay. Let's do it.
Still got it.
WWE.
Beautiful. I think that's just a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing.
His record's clean, right? He's won every match he wrestled in. So,
yeah, that's true.
Records don't matter in WWE. Okay, this is not AEW. Records don't matter. They don't matter there either, but they don't matter here.
You're right. He's undefeated. We got to start a Logan. Logan. He's a Goldberg level.
All right.
Pat McAfee. He was Evan Diaz. He's cool, my man. My book. Yeah, sure. Give him all the titles.
If Pat McAfee takes on the alias as John McAfee, would I want Pat McAfee to hold the title? Pat McAfee has to call himself Pat Running with the Devil McAfee.
Pat McAfee might be one of my all-time favorites because it was in one of my all-time favorite matches, Pat McAfee versus Vince McMahon. I don't care. My soul left my body at WrestleMania when that happened. I was like, this is the greatest moment of all time.
You were in attendance, I'm assuming.
I sat next to Jack. He basically, if you think you know Jack, you think you know him. You think you know him. He went nuts on his chair, throwing his shirt above his head. It was crazy. It was pandemonium. He's like, oh, it's Pat McAfee. It was great.
Versus Vince punted him and won. Oh my God! But when look, I know Vince has had his issues, but this was before all that. So in that moment. Oh, when he took the jacket off and he had the tank on. Ah,
I was over it, but Jack was not.
No, still not over it.
Pingle.
All right.
Not over.
So after we're done with Clash at the Castle, we're like, oh, good. That's all the wrestling we have to watch this
McIntyre
weekend.
One. We have to watch.
No, that's not it, guys, because Sunday is a doubleheader, if you will. Back-to-back Soul Admission. We've got NXT Worlds Collide, and I don't know if anyone saw the graphic. That NXT not looking very colorful anymore. Looks pretty void of color.
There's rumors.
No more down south swag.
Down south swag. Make the fun of love.
Not anymore. It's gonna be Northeast swag.
Northeast swag out of Stanford.
So Flobo, we got Jack's feelings about Draped in Gold closing, turning off the light switch, credits rolling.
Yeah.
How you feeling? I know it's been like a couple of.
I thought it was Jack for a second. I was like, wait a minute.
That was Jack watching Vince.
Yeah. I was like, wait, Jack was I think mixed feelings is a cop-out answer, but it's a true answer. On the one hand, it sucked because I said this on the show today. When it came down to NXT UK podcasts, there were like 12 on the planet, but we were the only ones that went live after every episode. And it became like a challenge. And towards the end, we actually got viewers in UK and Australia and sub-Saharan Africa and odd cities in Denmark. It was it was a good time. But with UK closing, it didn't make sense to have an NXT 2.0 show because NXT 2.0 is so fluid. It's the way those shows are written. It's not really conducive to any kind of entertaining talk. It's like, oh, Tony Angelo showed up for the first time in 4 weeks, but he's in the middle of a storyline and we don't know what's going on with that. Back to you, Jack. And so it was difficult to walk away, but I think we did. I'm proud of what we did. I'm proud that drapedingold.com, I own it. I'm proud that people have quote tweeted us and gave us high five and props at these events because we were doing something that hadn't been done.
Well, technically, the job's not over yet because we've got Worlds Collide. We got some titles combining after we talked about how we like the brand split and maybe want to split up some titles.
We said we were done.
So we've got a lot of title unification matches going on. We're going to go through some of them. Is there anyone that, because I'm looking at, and I feel like a lot of stuff could go either way. Honestly, I think it all just kind of depends on what whomever is in charge, Triple H, feels like that day. What do we feel about the tag team unification match? Is there anybody that you look at there and you go, that's it? Those, they're going to be holding 2 pairs of titles come the end of the match.
This whole show is going to be very tough to predict because it is such a turning point in the brand in general. And so not knowing where the brand is going makes it very tricky to understand who would win what, also with the draft coming up, it also is hard not to predict who may or may not be on the brand in a few months. I think in situations like this, I just kind of go with my heart, and my favorite team is Pretty Deadly. I think that they're wildly entertaining. I think that they're the kind of people you want on TV. They're the kind of people that you can get non-wrestling fans to look at and be like, oh, they seem fun. And I think it's a bit of goodwill to the NXT UK brand.
Yep. I was so mad when they basically spoiled their tournament and had Tyler Bates show up. But I think ultimately it does right by NXT UK to give them weeks of build-up, though, for this match. Because if Tyler Bates showed up yesterday and was like, yeah, I'll challenge you Saturday, I'd have been like, what the hell? So we're getting a Worlds Collide match. We're probably going to get these extended times, 5 matches on the card, or maybe 6. I'm not sure if Axim and Frazier is confirmed for Saturday for next week. But I do think it's a good way for them to either show out what's going on. But to answer your question, I really do think it may be Gallus that walks away with all 2 titles.
Yeah.
Neeson?
Well, looking at this list, and I'm like, look, it has to be the Creed brothers. Like, but also, I think it's time for them to move on past NXT 2.0 and not to go to 3.0. But I think they're main roster ready, and I think now with the main roster, Raw and SmackDown being depleted of tag teams, you need to start rebuilding that. And one thing Triple H has been about is tag teams. Like with good old, my prayer circle work for Black and Gold NXT, So yes, it's coming back, baby. It is coming back. And this man, he'll be back sooner or later, I promise. Yeah, he'll be back. But I think with that said, we're gonna see that was a golden era of tag team division at Black and Gold NXT. It was hot. I mean, from Revival to Alpha Academy to TM87, like it was a bunch of teams that was really killing it. And so now I think with Creed brothers going up, you put them on Pretty Deadly. Pretty Deadly is the tag team. All the things to Jack's point, they're entertaining, they're hella talented, and plus you want to hear what they're going to say or do next week, right? You want to tune into them. No matter what segment, you want to watch their segments on Twitter or on YouTube, etc. So you let the American fandom get more ingratiated to them, and I don't think they're going to be there very long. They are primed and ready for a SmackDown roster spot. Pretty Deadly on SmackDown will kill. So I think Pretty Deadly put the titles on them, and then maybe Gallows could take it off of them.
Wait, so are you saying the Creed's ready for the roster, main roster, or the Pretty Deadly?
I'm saying now. I'm saying right now.
Both of them now.
Everybody's ready.
Everybody's ready. I was like,
which is not.
I was saying,
wrong, honestly.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I agree with you that Pretty Deadly is ready now. Like if I had them losing Saturday or Sunday and then have them appear Friday, I'll be happy because they are the most polished as far as like they're different. We know who they are. We know exactly what they can do, and their finishing move is called Spilt Milk. That is definitely made for SmackDown.
They are. By the way, a lot of people cried about the changes 2.0, but I got to admit they have more stars that feel like they are SmackDown and Raw ready than I think NXT has ever had. Like I think even the black and gold era, the eras that I loved, there was always you can go back to the old eras.
They tried to make it more fluid.
I loved the old. Black and gold was fantastic, but every one of them, there's always that party who's like, but will they make it on the main roster? You would ask that about just about every single one of them. All these guys, like Pretty Deadly, yes, seamless transition. Toxic Attraction, absolutely. They fit right in there. Carmelo Hayes, you could put him in a U.S. title picture this week, and I'd be like, he's ready. Like Braun Breaker, there's so many guys, like they could go in there, and they don't need to change a thing. I'm not worried about it. They would be set. And that's... I think crazy.
I agree with the only person I disagree with is Braun Breaker. That's why I will put him with Madcap Moss as a tag team. I don't think he could go up solo and beat him.
Madcap Moss and Braun Breaker? Why?
They fit. To me yes, they do. His name is Madcap.
Madcap is Braun Breaker.
How? Yeah, exactly. The Breaker is a very serious name. Okay, the lineage.
And Madcap isn't even Madcap as he started doing the joking thing. He's pretty much Riddick Moss, and he walks around in black tights. Like it's nothing to him now. So I think you put them together and you have them as a tag team. You have them a la New Steiner. Yes, a la that. I didn't say call him that. I didn't say call him that. Yeah, I wouldn't. Don't put 2000. You got to put 22. But yeah, that's how you do it. But you put them in a tag team like that, and then you have something like the Creed brothers versus them and build themselves up together. I think the Creed brothers are the wrestler brother type of trope that could really get over as the work shoot wrestlers on the main roster. The same thing with Pretty Deadly. Their gimmick is ready. I just think that they could really now be the guys in the tag team division in NXT, and with a little more elbow room, you know what I'm saying? And like really spread their wings more before they go to the main roster. So I just think they're really, it's a dealer's choice. I just don't think Josh Briggs and what's his name are really the ones that's going to hold some title. Whatever. Yeah. I don't think they're not holding any titles by the end of the time for sure.
Well, I do think Creed brothers are also massive stars in the making. And when they debuted, I was like, I don't know about these guys, but over the past few months, like, oh my God, those guys just like their feats of strength are insane. Like what they did this week, even where I can't remember which one, Gallus one it was, but like Julius deadlifted him up from the ground. It's just insane what he's able to do.
I guess just off of that, if the Creed brothers get called up, would it make sense for them to be part of Alpha Academy maybe? And have nope, everyone's looking at me like I'm crazy. Okay.
I'm listening.
I get it. It just doesn't like as maximum male models would say, it doesn't titillate the juices, so to speak.
They're great too.
I get it, but I'm like, it feels kind of like what they're doing in Diamond Mine. It doesn't feel like
that's what I'm saying. It's a lateral change. Like if they came off the street doing that, cool. But going from Diamond Mine to Alpha Academy is like, wait a minute.
All right, we've got a triple threat for the NXT Women's Championship and the NXT UK Women's Championship. Mandy Rose, Mako Satomura, and Blair Davenport. I have a sneaky feeling that the lady in the middle is going to run away with both titles and leave our former champions thinking, what just happened? That's just what I'm thinking. What do you guys think? Who holds both titles come the end of this match?
I agree with you. I think it's Blair Davenport. I think I don't know anything about contracts. I just got a feeling Mako's probably not going to be around NXT 2.0 for a long time. And this is the classic perfect way to have Mandy Rose lose the title in a triple threat match. And I think that honestly, if I'm looking at this, Toxic Attraction as a group, I'm thinking we need to bring to the main roster.
Yeah.
I think we need to. And so they feel ready. Toxic Attraction's already lost the tag titles. Once Mandy Rose doesn't have the title, they can move all three of them up. And Blair Davenport, for people who have been following NXT UK, is great. She's great on a microphone. She wrestles well. She's a different type of champion than what Mandy Rose has been. So you can freshen up that whole division. I just think that just makes sense to me.
I actually have Mandy Rose winning this one by hook or by crook. And the reason being is that even though I like Blair Davenport NXT UK, you have to assume that people have not seen that show, and she just have come out of nowhere. But usually when you have these heel winners, either in NXT 2.0 or whatever, it is a big build-up. Usually ends up with a failed attempt first, and then a rematch is when the title changes hands. As much as I would like Blair to freshen things up, I do think the person that takes down Mandy is going to be someone to be built up. And I know it looks like Roxanne may be on that course once more, but I don't think Mandy walks away a loser this weekend.
You listening to you almost had me at Mandy winning, and then you talked about Roxy.
Oh yeah.
And then, so I think there's something with Roxy or Roxanne. I think Roxanne since she lost to Mandy already.
Mm-hmm.
I think Blair is there to sneakily win. As Pingo and Jack said, Mandy goes up to the main roster. Roxanne could win from Blair. Because that way you never have to put an L. Never have to put a strong L on Mandy. Mandy doesn't have to take a pin. Mandy doesn't have to take a strong L, whatever the case may be. She could walk away, and they already have the tag team division was supposed to be on the main roster until Gigi had a concussion. So with that, you can just easily go up, transition to the main roster, and be Toxic Attraction on SmackDown. I mean, most likely on SmackDown. And everything will be okay. And leave the NXT with Roxy, with Cora, with Mako for a little bit. Maybe, my dream booking is Sasha Banks goes to NXT 2.0 for a second and has a match with Mako, or comes up to the main roster. I don't know, a one-off. Do a one-off or something. I just want to see Sasha and Mako since they trained together during her sabbatical a couple years ago. Okay, look, you roll your eyes when I mention Sasha Banks. Again, I will run in this 100-degree. I will run this in 100-degree weather, 10 miles away. Okay, knock on your door.
Oh my God. Go ahead.
Knock on your door.
Sasha's not here. We're doing.
You know what I would actually love to see Mako Satomura win. I don't think it's going to happen, but I would love to see her get the win and be the one to unify the titles, just because she is such a historic figure in wrestling. And by the way, they show her picture, her video from Nitro, and it's like, she was such a baby.
Yeah,
that's so crazy.
Yeah,
Nitro. So crazy.
Which, by the way, she was on Nitro, of course. That was like 1,000 years ago. Who's old enough to remember Nitro?
We're all 1,000 years old, guys.
No, you guys are.
Yeah. But it's Davenport. Davenport's winning.
Yeah,
people don't know who she is. I get it. I totally get it. But if you're watching NXT Worlds Collide, even it's like, oh, it's a NXT UK thing, and you're watching as the packages. Tyler Bate got a big package. Billy Davenport had a little bit of a little. By the way,
that's why his thighs are so big.
Hey,
big thigh boys, baby. Big strong boys. Big strong boys.
You gotta
come on, man.
I'm just saying. I'm not mad if she wins. I just feel like I'll come out of left field if she did.
I think, but that's something. If you're going to transition, like this is a new NXT.
Mm-hmm.
This is a transition,
mm-hmm.
And so I think if you're going to transition, you have to have one of those champions, one of them, be someone that may not know who they are.
Tyler Bates won it.
And you learn, but we know who Tyler. We know who Tyler Bate is.
We do.
Like absolutely do. We didn't get to it, but we know who do.
To your point, Flobo, though, about it being someone you need to know, any invasion, which this is essentially like an invasion.
True.
Most of the people aren't going to know anyone on the other side. That's just how it is with all of them. So the only way for the invasion to have you have to have some people that no one knew win in their respective things.
I'm with you. I just don't think Black Davenport's one of them. I just don't think she specifically is that one. But I'm with you. You're right.
That's why you're the flowy Janetti.
It's true. It's true.
My God. All right. Well, our main event is to unify the NXT and NXT UK championships. Braun Breaker versus Tyler Bate.
Big strong boy.
This is a hard one because I feel like my brain says Braun, but my heart says Tyler Bate.
Dragon screw into a roll up. 1, 2, 3. Tyler Bate wins.
Yeah. I mean, he's like you said, you need champions we know. And I mean, in the history of NXT, we know Tyler Bate. We know all about him. And I feel like my heart just says it should be Tyler Bate. That's just me.
You know what?
I'm saying.
Go with your heart, Pingle.
That's what I'm saying.
And you're to blame.
Wow.
You know what? I'm not going with my heart. I'm going with my brain. And I also say Tyler Bate is going to win. I also think, look, for sure, Braun's got big shoulders and big arms and a big chest. But who's winning the thigh battle? It's the king of the thigh guys, Tyler Bate. The thighs that all other thighs are held up by, Tyler Bate. This is when you have a situation like this where you're bringing in a ton of people who haven't been on this channel. You need to shock and awe. You need them to come in and show that they belong. And I think you're going to want NXT UK to dominate Worlds Collide because they have to find a way to live in 2.0. You look back at the invasion, WCW, WWE. WWE mopped them up. And WCW guys all look like chumps for years after that. You can't do the same thing. You got to have the invading force come in, at least clean house the first time around. And plus, I think Bate is the perfect change of pace from someone like Braun Breaker. And he's the perfect guy that can kind of beat a Braun Breaker and surprise the champ. And we talk about Roman Reigns becoming stale. I love Braun Breaker, but Braun Breaker feels like he's wrestling kids right now. And he needs someone who can challenge him.
Wrestling kids. Love is blind. Was that
it could take over.
Lobo, what do you think?
That's what I'm saying. I think as much as I fought hard, I don't think Blair Davenport's winning. I think Tyler Bates walking away. I just said Gals might win their match. I think NXT UK walks out if you're doing points, Ricochet aside and do a job aside, that they're going to win the battle head to head, and it's going to be the top. I like Braun. But Braun has not found a weakness that an opponent can exploit. There isn't anyone that's like stronger than Braun. There isn't one who really tried the cerebral thing and made it work. Joe Gacy failed at it. McDonough failed at it. There really isn't someone that goes, "Ooh, I want to see him get beat up." And that's just been Braun's problem. So he's coming out there barking. Everyone loves him. But as soon as the bell rings, it's like, and even his promos sometimes, I feel like you just like, "I'm going to be mad and I'm Braun." And you're like, okay, but why? I don't know.
The problem with the he's actually, I don't know. I think he's great. In ring, he's great. He's got a lot of snap. I think it's just, again, the problem is you hit the nail on the head. He never feels like he's tested. It feels like everyone he's in there with is not at his level, and that's not a shot against anyone else. It's just the way he's presented. Is it feels like, dude, you need to be in the ring with guys like Lashley. You need to be in the ring with big dude like Drew McIntyre's, but. When I see him having matches with, and I love JD McDonough, I love Cameron Grimes and Joe Gacy and all these other guys, but they just look like they get bullied by him. It doesn't even look like he's struggling. And if you're the champ that I'm supposed to cheer for, you can't be the bully at the same time.
Yeah.
You know why? You know why he can't? Because he's not a big, strong boy. That's why. That's why he can't be the boy. Tyler Bate wins this match, and he is 2-belt bait, and I'm gonna love it every last minute of it. I think Triple H, since the start of NXT UK, but really since Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, those are the two people he put that company on their back. And one of them is Butch. The other is Tyler Bate, and now a champion. And now I think it's only gonna make him a bigger superstar, moving up to the main roster. Now, a part of me might see, my heart says, a little small heart is like, I honestly want him to lose, go with Pete Dunne and become a tag team in the main roster, and go back to Pete Dunne and run rough shot. Call yourself Big Strong Boys, call yourself anything. British strong style, whatever you want to call yourself, but run rough shot and really show the main roster what British strong style is, right? I think he did that with NXT UK. Triple H could do that with the main roster, but I think before you get there, make him the biggest star possible. Have him be the first ever NXT UK, NXT champion. Combine those championships. Go on a nice run. He has a slew of competitors down there that he could run through and have some amazing matches with. And then Royal Rumble, get that man in the Rumble, and we hear and he could come out. That's the first chord of his.
That's the song, guys.
Yeah,
I don't know what song it was. I was like, Pete Dunne song?
Yeah, Pete Dunne. That was Pete Dunne. You hear the first chord. That was the first chord, guys. And then he comes out. But yeah, Big Strong Boys. That's who I got, man.
I like Brawling Butch. I do. I hate Butch as a name, but him just being so scrappy is hilarious.
I do.
I actually love the character.
I actually do. I just think there's more opportunity now with him being paired up with someone like Tyler Bate, someone that does have he could bounce the energy off of, right? Like he could bounce his seriousness off of Tyler Bates' energy. They have some charisma. They have, eventually whenever they do break up, somebody throws somebody through a barbershop window, whatever the case. That's a whole nother like Flobo and Jack.
Stop. I was trying to run away.
But yeah, I'm just a huge Tyler Bate fan, and I'm super excited for him. The man got tattoos now. It's really weird. He got tattoos now and shit. Got
growing up right in front of us,
right in front of our eyes, man. He's gonna be incredible. Yeah.
And remember when he debuted in Progress? Sorry, I had you were like, he's growing up right in front of us, and I was like, yeah, he really has. And I faded away into old Progress days where British strong style was started.
19? What?
Yeah, he was 19. Yeah. And then the match they showed at NXT UK this week, the package where he won the title, Pete Dunne was young and chubby and cherub-like, and the homeboy had a little mustache. It was so weird, man. That was 5 years ago.
Yeah, recently they've been like, yeah, he was a big, strong boy. Now he's a big, strong man. Like, that guy's still a kid.
He's still a boy.
Yeah. Let's pump the brakes on that. He's still very young.
Mm-hmm.
He's still a boy. Damien?
Yeah, but man, real thighs, realized real thighs. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I feel you, man.
So stupid.
I feel you. Thigh guys over here.
Real thighs.
What's up with those thighs over there, Flobo, huh?
I'm sorry. These are fueled by cheeseburgers and ramen. I apologize. They're big, but they ain't strong. I have weak thighs.
Don't skip leg day.
Don't skip leg day, baby.
Can't skip it.
Yep.
All right. We got to talk about All Elite Wrestling now. We got to talk about it because a lot has happened in the past.
Whoa. The best match in the card for the North American title, we're just going to skip over? Okay. It's fine. No, it's fine.
You want to talk about it? We can talk about it.
No, forget it. Not AEW, man. It's fine. No, it's fine. My boy Carmelo Hayes, the A champion, cooked Ricochet this week with a microphone. Oh my God, Ricochet looked so out of place, and that guy was in the main roster. That was dope. Carmelo Hayes in a runaway this weekend.
Absolutely, I agree. I think I like what we're doing. We're bringing people in to enhance our new stars, and I think this match is going to be absolutely insane. And if Ricochet wins, I will be shocked. Carmelo Hayes.
What they've done on NXT with the titles this week was just incredible. I was blown away by how cool it was having champions of the past coming back and talking about how the legacy of the titles is so important. And if you don't win, it's a big deal. Like the future of the legacy is in jeopardy. It made every single match feel like this is a huge deal. It's not just a defense. Like the legacy of the title is on the line, which I think made Worlds Collide feel like such an important event. And even, of course, Ricochet being a former North American champion, not just a guy who's going to have a good match, but someone who actually makes sense there. And yeah, Carmelo's so good on the microphone. Carmelo's going to main event a Mania. I think Carmelo is one of the ultimate stars in pro wrestling's future. And I've said before, I think the way he speaks on the microphone is going to be as influential as guys like Jeff Hardy and their ring style and things like that. I think you're going to see a generation of people in the next 10, 15 years that cut promos like Carmelo Hayes because they grew up watching him.
I am.
Neeson, remember when I told you Christian Casanova is going to be a fucking star?
You did?
Mm-hmm.
He told me this.
Pingo watches everything though.
Mania. Yeah. He look. I guess commentated on For the Culture for Mania. Those were one of the names I believe was on the card, and I think you gave me a docket with the links to watch.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you need matches. Hold on.
Yeah,
let me get a spreadsheet for you.
And I remember seeing, I think it was the reality of
was
wrestling.
it separated, Kringle? Do you have like a black folder? You're like, oh yes,
right.
Now's my time. Like, wait,
I've been waiting this whole time.
Pulls open the file cabinet, is like flipping through it.
For the culture.
Why didn't I save this on Google Drive?
That was
Black
so
wrestlers. It's time, Neeson. And I was just like, oh my God, I have been bestowed all this knowledge. Thank you. But I think it was reality wrestling links that I saw him on. And I was like, okay, I seen it. I was like, this guy is a star because I didn't really hear him talk the matches that I did see because of you. Like, I saw his matches. I saw he had star power. He oozed charisma. I was like, soon as he looked at the camera, I'm like, oh yeah, this guy's money. Like it's out of here. When he came to NXT, I felt he had all the in-ring workings of a major star, likes of Seth Rollins, etc. in that vein. I just felt that he didn't know who he was in that environment yet. And so when we talk about my skills, it's funny that you say that when you talk about like his promo style was going to be what people are going to emulate, what people are going to be inspired by this that's watching this for the next generation. I'm super happy he found that because I felt like that was the thing that was lacking. Everything felt forced when he first started really grabbing the mic during that breakout tournament. It felt like he was trying to be himself, but wasn't being himself. Now it feels like with Trick and them finding the balance of we want to push what's working on Black Twitter, but also I want to have some balance to myself to where I'm not as goofy. I'm serious, and I can let Trick be that, and that you could tell that's his personality is a little more out there and a little more willing to go. I truly believe that this man isn't going to lose the North American Championship, and he's going to have to end up just bestowing it upon somebody, and they're going to have to do a tournament to win it. He is not going to drop that title ever. I think he's going to be the longest reigning. I think he is going to go up to the main roster with it, and I think he's going to have to send it back down. But he's really has not only found himself, but carved his own lane, and he is the North American champion that we're all going to look back at and realize, like, yeah, not only did he combine the NXT 205 championship, but he's beaten when he shot, he didn't miss, right? And that's a true statement. So shout out to, I think this match is going to be the match of the weekend, honestly. I hope it lives up to it. And he's not only did he cook, he fucking incinerated Ricochet on the mic. I don't know why, though. Look, behind the curtain, we know people work on promos. Why would you do that to yourself? I don't understand. Also, the line of, oh, look, he has a mic. Do you think he knows how to work that? Or something like that little, like, the old way.
Don't hurt yourself, dog.
Yeah. that throwing line. Like it's like,
oh shit,
bro, like you just got fried. You got fried. But at the same time, he did say, like, look, my matches, nobody remembers the match. Like, you had this reign, but nobody remembers one match. Nobody talks about it. So this would be the match that you talk about. Ricochet could say, like, hey, I went down and gave you the best match of your career. I think that's what we're gonna get.
I think that I think when I think about people who could be future stars, I always think about, I mean, he's already a star, but I mean,
talk your talk, Jack.
With Carmelo. Yeah, can you hype me up like Trick? Come on. We have
that's all it is.
I think that what I would say is, can you imagine them having a great rivalry with anybody? Right? And I think that okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That should fuck me up.
No, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
So, anyways, the point is, what I was going to say is, I always think that you can tell a future star when they're someone that you could put across from anybody, and you're like, that'd be great. Because there are some wrestlers who we love, but you're like, I don't know if I really want to see that rivalry or that match or that fight or that whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell me Carmelo Hayes versus anybody, and I'm like, that'll be entertaining.
Tyler Bate, Solo Sikoa, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Lashley, like
Matt Riddle, everybody. You could put anybody. You could say him versus Julius Creed. You're like, he'll make that really good. Like anybody. You're like, that would be entertaining. And you can't do that. Oh, man.
I'm coming out of retirement, pal.
we're past that.
Yeah, what's up? My neck up, sir.
Yes, he did say that. Whoops.
You're just quoting. But the point is,
quoted.
I just think that he's one of those guys you could put him in front of anybody. And like, I know, to the point about like Braun Breaker we talked about before, I think Braun Breaker's a star, but to Flobo's point, maybe I don't think he would have a great rivalry with anybody, but Melo, anybody. You could put him in you could say that he's going to have a rivalry with Akira Tozawa, and I bet that's going to be fun. That's going to be a fun rivalry to watch.
Hands down.
Tozawa.
Talk your talk, Jack.
He's still around.
Talk your talk, Jack.
Wrestling putty's got a hype, man. Yeah, that's right. So it is. So it's going to be.
All right, let's move on. Yeah. Apologies for skipping that match.
It was the Rock versus Austin.
Now
it's like bubble bath.
Shout out Dylan. That's in the chat, but it definitely looks a little.
It looks a little suspect.
Yes, suspect is the word. I wasn't going to say it, but the placement of Suds. You know,
the more I look at it, okay. Don't take all day.
What do you mean we got a strike on this video? My bad. He's like, my bad. All right.
I was saving that for OnlyFans, Dylan.
Got it for free here.
Man.
Jesus. Anyways, segue. AEW All Out is this Sunday.
Oh man.
What a 7-hour spectacular.
They're going short.
It starts early, folks. Don't worry about it. How do we feel about the momentum going into this? I feel like a lot happened on Wednesday. We had the whole
momentum.
I'm
saying, is there momentum? How do you
momentum started? Momentum can't start. You have momentum. You get momentum. Like if you got to start, then you don't have momentum. That's the point of starting.
There's no momentum going in.
I love AEW. I'm a huge AEW fan. I feel like I defend them constantly.
Yeah, you do.
I do feel like they are in a rut right now. And I know that there's a lot of people on Twitter that have a lot of different opinions and feelings about it. I don't think it's quite as silly as some of the stuff I see on Twitter, but I think that right now something's going wrong, and it's just not it's not as interesting or engaging to me.
Do you think as a whole something's gone wrong, or is there like 2 or 3 things where you're like, this is definitely where it's going wrong and it's bringing down everything else for me?
I think what I've said, I believe there's a couple things. And I think it's, for one, I think that they're really bad at pivoting stories. And like, what I mean is they'll have a story and it's great. And then when that story concludes, they don't know what's next. And so you look at like, hey man, Kenny Omega, they had this big build up. They had this big story. I think a lot of people were excited. He won the title. And then it was kind of like, oh, now what? And I think there's a lot of things like I can feel it happening with Miro right now versus House of Black. You can imagine he's like, oh, I'm the Redeemer. I'm going to beat all of you guys. And he's going to beat them. And then they're going to go, oh, well, now we don't have anything left. So Miro, we're going to take you off TV for a little bit until we figure out what's next. And you lose like Wardlow. He's going to build up and he's going to beat MJF. Oh, now what? And they kind of, and I feel like they're just kind of in this place where now no one's hot because they keep building people up and then going, I don't know what to do next.
So you don't think anyone, I guess I'm playing devil's advocate here. You don't think Moxley's hot right now?
I think Moxley's hot. I think they've got a few people who are good, but we talked about it earlier and we alluded to it earlier is Roman Reigns has been crushing people for 2 years. Crushing, it just dominated. There's been no doubt about his wins. And so you talk about protecting people, not with Roman Reigns. He's destroying them. He's stacked Edge. He stacked Bryan Danielson or Daniel Bryan at the time. Yet, as we said at the top, you could give me KO versus Reigns. I'd be excited. You could give me Rollins versus Reigns. I'd be excited. Drew versus Reigns right now is looking hot. If you have people come back, you could sell me Riddle versus Reigns. Like I said, I personally, Lashley versus Reigns. If CM Punk was gone, if CM Punk, let's say, was legitimately injured, who do you think could stand up in the ring with Moxley right now that would sell you a ticket and you would believe they have a chance? And Moxley hasn't been crushing people that have been on the Raw. He's been facing New Japan guys and people that aren't those top guys. How has Moxley not had a big match yet? And there's only CM Punk who feels like he could sell me a ticket. I think that's a problem.
Answer the man.
I'm looking. I'm looking here.
And again, like there's people I like, but like you look at like okay, Kenny Omega just got back. He's kind of tied up in something. He might be one of those guys.
Trios.
Is Miro the guy? No, Miro's not really been on TV all that much. Well, what about Pac? Well, Pac hasn't won a big match in so long. Like Wardlow also hasn't been in a big match. Like who's there that you feel like this is that person? And I think the second thing, if I just continue the rant, is I feel like they have their guys that they're so worried about certain guys losing that they don't give us the big matchups that would make these big stars. Like I think you have someone like Pac facing Kip Sabian because you don't want to have Pac lose. And so who does he face? Like I was talking to Flobo earlier. I mean, I think the match should be Wardlow versus Pac. That's a TNT title match that I'd want to see. But I think they just don't want Pac to lose. And they can't have Wardlow lose. And you can't have CM Punk lose. You can't have Mox lose. So we'll just have all these, we can't have FTR lose. You just have all these like matches that are like, what?
So you feel like they're protecting. Don't do that here, Flobo.
No, I was repeating what he said.
Don't do the Stone Cold what?
I'll go. That's fine.
I'm honestly excited for the Pac Sabian match. Damn it! I actually want to see that match, but so it just feels like we don't want to bury our guys. Is kind of what you're saying. Like we can't have it's like, well, Pac's a champion, but he can't face somebody that he could potentially lose against.
I think they're in a way they're hurting their guys, I think, by protecting them a little too much is what I think. So you don't get those matches. I like Kip Sabian, but don't tell me that like the big match is the guy that's been gone for a year and a half that just suddenly came back this week. He's
been gone. He's been in the audience with a trash bag over.
Has he? I haven't seen him.
He's been there. He's been like every show. He's been like front row. They always show
sure
him.
It's him?
He posts about it, doesn't
Bray
he?
Wyatt. He's the one.
What about
with
him?
the box on his head.
Like,
no, I mean, I get what you're saying though. It's like I look up and down at this card and I'm just kind of like, all right,
like
kind of right. Like I was like, on paper this could be good, but it's like, okay,
because that's every match has someone in it besides the main event that is someone who takes L's easily. Wardlow and FTR versus Jay Lethal has done some cool stuff, but Jay Lethal is very beatable in AEW. FTR and Wardlow, not so much. So that feels like it's kind of, unless there's some weird shenanigans, that's kind of feels like a foregone conclusion.
I feel like that match is just to do a dream match between FTR and Motor City Machine Guns. Honestly, that's kind of what that feels like. Neeson,
poor Neeson.
This is just the issue with AEW, and like you're trying to do all these things, trying to service all these people at once, and you end up servicing no one. Like you want to have ROH, you talk about how ROH, I think, Pingo texted me earlier, was like, Tony Khan tweeted something, and the first thing that came to my mind, I was like, I wish he just stopped tweeting. Like, I wish Tony Khan did not tweet when he was excited about something, because it never panned out like how it become, like how he builds it to be. And even if it's like Adam Cole is there, like, like it's a surprise. I'm excited about this surprise. It's like, okay, we all knew Adam Cole was going to be there, but him being there is like, great. I guess it's exciting. Cool. But then what do you do with him? Because now it gets to the point where, okay, you have these people debut, but then nothing happens. Moxley is your champion. And you said that he is hot right now. To me, he's not even hot. And all because of the reasons that you just named. He has nobody to be hot with. Even the CM Punk thing. CM Punk was in the audience, in the crowd in Chicago, and they weren't even as rabid as fans as they were when he was in the crowd in Chicago in 2011. Like it's not as hot as they want it to be, and it's not as hot as it should be. And you're going into your biggest show, right? Like you're going into the show, and I honestly can't name one match that I'm really excited to see, when I know a lot of wrestlers there that I'm really fans of. Like, I mean, for men and women, we don't even want to talk about what he's destroying on the women's side, but like on the men's side, you named Malachi Black, you named Miro, Kenny Omega, Young, but like all these people that we're all excited to see, but have nothing meaningful. Why? How do you not have your biggest show? And it could be because he's injured. Adam Cole, whatever. Like you don't have the elite versus Undisputed Era. I don't know their new names or whatever, but Undisputed Era. Like the reason why Kenny Omega is a good guy now, like because basically one, he was out for like a year almost, and two, because Adam Cole kicked the Young Bucks out of the Super Elite or whatever the fuck it is. The guy had a legitimate reason, and he said it while he was kicking him out. Like, you think I forgot? Kenny Omega, their best friend, killed him, and BTE is canon on that show. So you're telling me a murderer and the canon of your show, a man that killed somebody and sent them off, ended up, and then the best friends do a seance to bring him back, and then he comes back, and then the murderer doesn't like that he's back, but gets injured, and now the guy that killed him kicks the guys out the group. Like, Young Bucks is out the group. Fine. Okay, now they can't get Hangman. Fine. That's a whole nother fumble they did. Because why isn't Hangman sniffing towards the main title? This man lost the title and never even sniffed it again.
And
right?
then got buried.
And then
like randomly.
Like
with the Punk calling him out and him not coming out.
It's so much nonsense that goes on in the show, but they're trying so hard. You have Claudio Castagnoli. Claudio is over there. Brian Danielson. And we just have Mox versus Punk again, that people are just like, okay, I guess we can do this, even though it just like, I guess you're trying to tell us a story. I don't know. Cool. That's your main event. It's not exciting, has no momentum to me.
Would you feel better about Punk Moxley if we didn't have the ouch my foot match?
I think that story was a story that should have been at minimum a month long, not a week long. Because the promo this week itself was like 4 acts in a story. I mean, he came out and like, I'm gonna give up on everything. I'm gonna fight. You know, like, bro, you were 5 seconds ago in tears giving up. Like, what do you?
Yeah, gonna sign the contract with a baby in the crowd.
But you talked about like Claudio and everyone else. Like, that's the thing is, I think, and this is why I think there's so many titles. Is they're like, well, Claudio is great, and we want Claudio to win all the time. But who can he beat? Well, we don't want him beating Moxley. We don't want him beating Wardlow. We don't want him beating Pac. Well, let's give him this. Let's make a title for him, so he'll defend that against Dustin Rhodes. Who, great match. I love Dustin Rhodes, but I was not watching that match thinking, Claudio's at risk. He's gonna lose this title. You know, like it's all these matchups that were like they're tomato cans for these guys, and so none of them feel.
And why are you even doing ROH in the first place? Like, why? Like, I get it. That's your developmental or your side league, your side whatever. But why are you doing it on that? You have this time to develop the talent that you have in this AEW company. So if this is the case where Claudio is going to be the face in, well, I don't know where Samoa Joe is, but like if this is going to be it over here.
He was at movies, to be fair. That's why Samoa Joe hasn't been on TV. He's been filming a TV show.
Okay. Yeah. So if you're over here, if you're doing that over there, then do it over there, because there's so many other talents that's over here that you can help build, and you can give that could contribute to significant storylines. Like, I mean, Andrade, this whole Andrade, and the only thing that you see it is really more so on BTE than you see it on Dynamite, of trying to like buy people's services, I guess, like to join the family. Like, everybody's a mob boss now. You got QT Marshall, mob boss, and hitting people with Rolexes. You got Andrade as a mob boss trying to buy people. Like, take your time, develop these characters and amazingly talented people that you have there, or it's just we're literally just getting, as Punk got mad at me when I said, PWG on television.
And one, I've said to Flo,
they didn't let him wrestle there, so that's
it. But it's but that's, and I think that's kind of going back to the point of everyone's a mob boss. I think they're trying to set up groups for people to run through. Like I think everyone agrees Ricky Starks is a star. Ricky Starks, you could build a company around. Ricky Starks is fantastic.
Yeah,
single.
However, him running through the factory doesn't mean anything. I don't feel like when he's like, oh, I overcame Anthony Ogogo. I'm not like, oh, we want to beat Anthony Ogogo. Now it's time for Mox. Like, because they always have people beat. No, I need to see him. Like, why isn't Ricky Starks? If you don't want to have him face Hobbs right now, why isn't he in the ring with Claudio? Why isn't he in the ring with Pac? Why isn't he in the ring with people who win all the time? Like, and I get it not happening on Dynamite, maybe, or Rampage. This is all out. Why do we have these matchups with people that aren't that big? Like, this is supposed to be your big show. Like, this is when you have those matchups where you go, neither of these guys can afford to lose. This is when you do it. Why are we not doing that? That to me is frustrating as a fan. And again, I love all these guys and I love AEW, but just this period, I'd say the last 6 months has been kind of
mid.
Tony Khan does not care about women's wrestling.
No, he doesn't. I
what do you mean? There's 2 whole titles for that.
There's only 2 matches on a 14 match card dedicated to, and one of them is a multi women match for an interim championship. I'm also kind of over, like, just strip them of the title. Like, they're not like, if you bring them back, they're going to be like, but now I'm back. Now I'm going to fight and become the number 1 contender. Just strip them of the title. We don't need everybody holding up 40 belts and beating interim champions every 2 months because somebody got hurt and was out for literally no time. It felt like Punk wasn't even out that long. They should just
it was 2 months.
Anyway.
I'm okay with it.
Because like Cody's interim was like 10 days. When Cody's
Cody's was dumb. That I'll give you that. That was really stupid. But in general, I don't really mind the interim championship thing. I think with the women's wrestling, it's the pivot thing. Because I think again, you'll have Ruby Soho and she's doing a story and like, oh, she's getting some momentum. This is great. And then she loses and she's off TV. And the same thing with so many other people that come on and they're getting focused on, like, oh, this is the next rivalry, and then they're off TV. And we forget about them. And I always say Abaddon is great, but it's like she comes around in October. She makes a big mess around Halloween, and then she's off TV again. And it's that they have such a talented roster of women on AEW. You just it's like they don't ever give them opportunities.
It's mind-boggling.
Well, and they give them opportunities.
For 5 minutes.
I was like, the opportunity is you only can wrestle unless you're in a title match. That's the only time you get on TV. That's the only story we're able to tell now. And also, no, it's not going to be any. They pull the trigger too late whenever it happens. Like one, they bet not pull the trigger on I
Athena?
keep saying Amber. Yeah, Athena. They bet not pull the trigger on Athena.
They should.
But now it's to the point. And now it's to the point they shouldn't, because why? Like let Jade run and learn and run roughshod until whatever, because Athena's star power has dropped tremendously. So it's like what's even the point? Because you put the title on Athena, then what? Now what? You haven't built anyone else up to be able for her to like run through. She's gonna have to go right back to Jade. Like that's the issue with them. They put somebody up there, then they kill, like you said, like Jack said, they lose, and then it's like, well, we got nobody else, and then that person's off TV, that person's not wrestling, etc., etc. Then they're on like Dark or Evolution, and you think or Elevation, and we're supposed to like care about those shows.
Evolution is a mystery.
And they're like, yeah, right, Evolution. And Ruby Soho is like, oh, Ruby Soho had a hot streak on Evolution, or damn it, Elevation had a hot streak on Elevation. And it's like, ooh, she did. Yeah, now she gets a title shot, and then she loses. And that's been the thing. And so you have to invest. The thing is like, oh, well, he came out and said what he said about Thunder Rosa and said 8-minute promo basically by Punk is worth more than an 8-minute promo from Thunder Rosa. And it's like, well, sir, if you invest in, it's a common thing. You invest in women, you invest in a time, invest in women, it will become an investment and an asset in the future. But if you don't invest in women, but you can't point to them and say, oh, they're not an asset. Yeah, because you didn't invest in them. WWE did a whole year in campaign. They labeled it. People hated it. The women's revolution. Oh my God, why did you have to do that? It was so people could actually attach something to it and invest in it, so they could name it, so they could actually go back and say, yeah, man, remember remember the women's revolution? Like, remember that time period when it went from divas to, like, they knew what they were doing. That's marketing. And so if you want to actually invest in these women, and you have the right women to do so, Toni Storm, Athena, Jay, all these people are stars, right? Maybe not Athena, but everybody else is like stars, right? Invest in them. Give them the time, give them the promo time, give them mouthpieces, give them the things that they need. But one thing you can't do is only show them for 5-minute segments or matches, or a 2-minute promo segment backstage. That's the only time on that Dynamite a woman has had time. That's bullshit.
I think everyone running AEW would really benefit from going. Remember when we first got the brand split and Raw and SmackDown, and they're like, it's separate. They have separate pay-per-views. I would need them to go back and watch the first couple of months of SmackDown, where we had Nikki Bella. I remember watching the pay-per-view and being like, I am pumped for 3 different women's storylines. And I think only one of them had a title. Everything else was just something else. And I was like, this is exciting, and I'm here to watch this. I think maybe we need to go back and watch some of that, and maybe not have these. Listen, I like Hikaru Shida, but if she wins on Sunday, I'm gonna throw my head through a window.
Well, something that, and I'm stealing this from Flobo, even though he's right here, but something that I think is very true about a division is you don't have a division until you have a rivalry that has nothing to do with the title, and that is the issue with the women's championship.
Say that.
Well,
you've got to have, and you've got so many because people always say, oh, they got to AEW needs so and so for the women's division. They don't need anybody. They've got a stacked roster in the women's division. They got a phenomenal one. You just need to give them opportunities. You see on the screen here 4 different people who are all fantastic. That could
no one has a title.
And I mean, whether or not they have the title, even they should at least be in rivalries. They should be doing stuff. And again, because Ruby Soho is another one you could throw in there. I know Chris Statlander just got hurt, but she's another person that should have been on TV a whole bunch. They've got a whole slew of people that they could be putting out there on TV in rivalries for whatever reason. And that's what you always need, because then when you need a champion or you need a challenger, you go, oh, this person has won their past 3 rivalries.
I think they did do that, but they ran it into the ground with Hikaru Shida and Serena Deeb.
Yeah,
like they ran that into the ground, and I was like, I don't care anymore. They've wrestled 50 times. Why are we still doing this?
Yeah, to Circle's credit, yes. I mean, with NXT UK gone, Impact, unfortunately, by default, is done the work of understanding what a women's roster is, having A stories, C stories, D stories. But yes, I was tied with Deeb Shida too as well. Cool.
Yeah,
but it was the right track. I mean, I do want to give credit for the good things that they do. That was on the right track.
No, it was.
Kind of
it was for sure.
It was like, oh, Shida just got beat. I think she tapped, right? Oh my God, she tapped her out. This is crazy. And then like fast forward 4 months, I'm like, this is crazy because they're still doing it. Like, why are we still doing this?
Maybe I have a different perspective on AEW because I think for as long as it's been around, I've kind of watched it as like something for work. So I'm not like I would first admit I'm not hugely invested in that brand with characters as much, but from the outside looking in, even though I am a hardcore fan, it just feels like everything is compounded unto itself. Like the supercard booking works if you have 4 shows a year, but now you're booking weekly. And to Jack's point, you're trying to do these giant schmazzes by saying you wrestle for 20 minutes works 4 times a year, even monthly. But you can't do that weekly because you have to give me something else to care about. And now we're in a town, Chicago. We've ran so many times. And now Punk is trying to be the hero thing in Chicago, had a heel turn last week. It really is in the worst way. You could miss key elements to these stories. Now we look at these pay-per-views. I understand it's a pay-per-view format, so you got to give people their money's worth. But there's no way you can get me jazzed to watch 14 matches. It just can't happen anymore. I think once WWE saw the dollar sign of Split Mania, they weren't going back. Kingdom's 3 days now? Like they're not going back to 1. Like I don't know what that means of lowering prices or give me more shows, but you can't tell someone sit for 5 hours and you make an MGF on a Sunday.
I mean, and to that point, it's not just that it's so many matches, but there's so many matches again that I feel like aren't that spicy. You know, I keep using Wardlow and FTR versus Motor City Machine Guns and Jay Lethal. I love Motor City Machine. I love the parts, but there's no way Jay Lethal and Motor City Machine Guns win unless there's some kind of weird shenanigans. I look at the Casino ladder match. You got Claudio, Wheeler, Penta, Phoenix, Roosh, Andrade, Dante Martin. And I don't mean to step all over the predictions here. Sorry. But besides Claudio, do you believe any of those guys could beat Moxley?
Wheeler, Yuta.
Like, I don't. Like, but Claudio maybe, but the rest of them I don't believe. So why do I care if they win a shot? They're just going to get gunned down. Like,
I mean, I feel like he already beat Roosh, didn't he? He already beat Roosh.
Yeah, he already beat Roosh.
And then we have the mystery person, whomever that may be. If I'll tell you right now, if the mystery person is Samoa Joe and he wins, I could see him beating Moxley.
Yeah, that would be cool if it's Joe. But I only like to play with the cards on the table. You know, we could get all funsies with the TBD,
would be nice.
But you know,
I think, I think we just can't let Chris Jericho hear this podcast or hear this show, because he's been talking about how it's the greatest wrestling company, has the greatest boss. He's been the biggest flag bearer of AEW.
Sure. He's working for them.
So, yeah.
I was the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, hashtag the best wrestling podcast on the planet because they booked me to be on it. Like, I do the same thing. I do the same exact thing.
100%.
Right. I'm clip that up.
Because I've been booked to be here.
No, cut that out. But I say that because we have things like Bryan and Jericho, right? Like something that we're supposed to be excited for, and that's supposed to be Lionheart Chris Jericho versus Bryan Danielson. The sports entertainer thing versus the professional wrestler thing. I look at this card and I feel like I'm looking at a Dynamite show and not All Out for some reason. Like I feel like, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think that actually Jericho Danielson is probably the one I'm looking for. I think that one will be interesting because there's a story involved in it.
Yes,
there's stuff going on. I think the two guys are great performers. I think that'll be a great matchup. I think that's actually one of the better ones, to be totally honest with you.
I mean, I agree.
But I get what you're saying, though.
There are matches here that it's like, oh, we've built this for a while. Like, I don't know if I'm necessarily like hyped for Christian Cage versus Jungle Boy, but I feel like they've done a decent job building that. But on the other hand, Keith Lee and Swerve were like, hey, Acclaimed, do you guys want a tag team title match? And they were like, sure. And that was how that match came to be. I mean, I think it should be fine, but it's kind of like, what? Like, this is your biggest pay-per-view of the year. Like, two guys went up to each other and were like, let's do this, I guess. That's what it felt like.
Right.
Yeah, that's my point. It feels like we all played WWE 2K, right? We won't talk about the rivalry. We won't go into that right now. But on GM mode, which is a fantastic thing, it definitely could be worked out a lot better. But
and so insightful too.
Yeah, really, it's really great. It's one thing on that is it's that once you get to 4, it could get stale. The rivalry gets stale on level 4. Mm-hmm. And it will tell you,
fans don't want to see this. Stop doing it.
Stop. It will tell you, like, stop. And then if you once you complete it, rivalry complete, let's say you want to go back to like maybe a tag team or something with the same people, it will tell you needs to cool off.
Don't do that.
So you're
saying what they need to do is load the entire AEW roster into WWE 2K GM mode.
Absolutely.
And do what it says.
Because with the GM mode, like you could build rivalries and like it could be at 4 for a while if you don't have them touch and you have them cut promos, or you could do little things, have run-ins, and you could keep it at 4. You could keep it hot, but it's still, if it goes to like, if it's 3 weeks at 4, it's going to get stale. And I think right now what we're seeing is either one, they're hot shotting things because they're big names or whatever may happen, blah, blah, blah. Like, whatever change they, like Jack said, they can't pivot right. Or they're so stuck on a story. Like you said, Bryan Danielson and Chris Jericho. I mean, the story is like 8 months old, right? It's from the whole sports entertainer wrestler thing and the whole fight, the big fight they had in the arena. I forgot what it's called, the Mayhem or some shit.
Yeah. You have the winner gives a rose to Daniel Garcia. That's basically where we're at.
That's basically, it's a fight for Daniel. It's a fight for Garcia.
Yeah, we're swaying him, and I like.
I'm your puppy, Daniel.
Yeah,
I lied.
I do like Garcia. I do like the Garcia element, but I'm more so just interested in Garcia rather than the match, rather than them. Like, wrestling is wrestling, and it is what it is. But it has to be something to attach it to that. And I think the Garcia element doesn't make me want to see the match, more so just the fallout of it. And I think a lot of that, and so that's why I look at this match. I'm like, this is just a dynamite. I look at this card. I'm like, this is a Dynamite show. This is a Dynamite show with a ladder match.
Well, I want to go back to that tag team match you had talked about before. the Swerve in Our Glory versus the Acclaimed, and this is, I think, is a perfect example of the pivoting thing, because the Acclaimed actually, in a way, are the number one contenders. They just won a big rivalry against another tag team. No other tag team has been in a rivalry. They won a rivalry. We could talk about the Gun Club or whatever, but they actually had a big rivalry. They won the rivalry. It makes sense they would get the titles, but because it feels like they're so clunky in pivoting from that. They go, oh, they won. Let's give them a title shot. How do we do that? Just say they have a title shot instead of doing something like that would be cool and dramatic and make it feel like it's interesting to see and make us see this fight. Like it was just like, sure, you get a title shot. Like,
sure, why not?
And so now if Acclaimed loses, where does that leave them? And if Swerve in Our Glory loses, which I don't think they should because they just got the titles, what do they do? It just puts you in a weird spot for everybody, I think.
Yeah.
Pingo, is your shirt long sleeve? How's that even possible?
How is it possible?
Well, how? Pingo isn't human. He isn't human. I'm 1,000% convinced.
Fair enough.
He's a human.
I mean, I mentioned it at the top of the show. I didn't know why I was wearing it, but it's Bam Bam's birthday, so that's why.
Oh my god!
Like, put on a Bam Bam shirt, and oddly enough, both of my Bam Bam shirts long sleeve.
He's committed a bit, Daddy. It is hot as
absolutely.
I'm gonna tell you right now, waist down, guys. It is not safe for work.
No, I'm wearing shorts.
Well, I'm talking about here. I'm talking about me, right? Waist down, guys. Right. Yeah, no, thigh guy, baby. Thigh guy.
They're Bam Bam shorts.
Yeah, respect.
Guys, I really like Bam Bam Bigelow. Anyway,
Bam Bam's
I will
great.
kill for you, Bam Bam.
Love Bam Bam.
Jersey Triad.
Shout out She-Hulk.
We're heading into
super show, guys.
We're heading into why are you still recording mode from the other room, basically. Let's rapid fire the show that I feel like honestly after this talk, I feel like I was kind of excited. Now I'm just kind of like, I don't even know.
We got to do it fast like Excalibur when he tells all these match card matchups.
I don't even know.
1,000-yard stare.
It's cooling me.
That's how fast we got to do it.
All right.
Well, that didn't happen fast, let me tell you.
Yep, that's me. Record scratch.
You're probably wondering how I got here.
I used to have it all.
All right, let's run down the card here, and we'll do rapid fire. Who you think is going to win? But if you really have something you want to get off your chest about the match, we'll let you have your time. So we talked about it a little bit. Bryan Danielson versus Chris Jericho. Who do we think comes out victorious? Oh, and do we think Garcia, the whole thing where he's torn is just a swerve and he's been with Jericho the whole time?
Swerve. You think it's a swerve? I think it's real. And I think that Jericho gets the win, but he loses Garcia in the process.
Oh, that's a story. My teacher says you never get the win the game and get the girl. He edited White Man Can't Jump. You never win the game and get the girl. So I'm with that.
I like that. That's a great one, Jack. I do think Chris Jericho wins. Honestly, well, I'm sorry. I think Daniel Bryan wins, but I think he doesn't get the girl. I think Daniel Garcia goes with Chris Jericho, and it continues to make him the biggest heel on that side of the town or of the yard or of the tracks.
I think Jericho cheats to win and then goes too far after the bell, and then Daniel Garcia murders him.
Oh,
I think
wow.
That's straight murders him.
I'll never forgive you, Dylan. Nice.
All right, we have
I will.
I'll be the butt of a joke. It's fine.
I said bubble bath. I was wrong. Next.
All right, we have.
What are you implying?
The 4-way for the interim AEW Women's World Championship. Hikaru Shida, Jamie Hayter, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Toni Storm. Honestly, I want Jamie Hayter to win this. I think it would be new, it would be different, it would cause some sort of friction between her and Britt Baker. Hikaru Shida, as great of a wrestler as I think she is, would not have the title again. And I don't know what Toni Storm would do. Sorry, Tony. But Jamie Hayter, I think that would be great. That's my prediction.
I'm with you, Pingle. Once you have that person on top, that chases more stories, right? You need a heel up there. Why not put Jamie Hayter?
I can't believe we're about to sweep. I agree. I was going to say Jamie Hayter because you could have that creates the friction between her and Britt Baker. You could have her defend against Hikaru down the road and then defend against Tony, and Tony can get the title then.
Sweep is 4, and definitely not going to sweep. Maybe a gentleman's sweep, but it's definitely not a sweep because I can't not pick my ride buddy here. How am I going to go against my ride buddy?
I know it's hard.
Yeah, I'm going to go Toni Storm, man. Why? Because she should have been held that belt and, been on either side of the fence. Now, granted, I don't think she's a good guy. I don't think she's a bad guy. I think she's the guy. And I think she's the Storm. Ooh. And I think that she should be able to uplift that women's division while wrestling Britt Baker, while wrestling Jamie Hayter again, while wrestling Ashida, while Sarah Dweeb, and all the peoples.
Sarah Dweeb.
I know Dweeb, deep. I did that.
Dweeb. I was gonna let it go.
But I entered
writing down
Serena
right now.
Serena.
Sarah Dweeb.
Kirk Angel.
When you get Serena Deeb on Wish.
Yes. This is
Sarah Dweeb.
Oh my God!
Can we start that over again? Can we erase that?
No, we're good, man.
Is this live?
We're live now.
We're live. Yeah. But no, I think Toni Storm, man. I want to see Toni Storm have it and win it and really submit her claim and status in AEW as it should be. Toni Storm.
Toni Storm, baby.
All right. Up next, we have one of many. How many 6-man matches do we have here? 1, 2, 3. Well,
get everybody on the card, baby.
There's 3 6-person tags.
Yeah.
Here's one. Bananas.
House of
There's
Black.
18 people. Wait, am I doing the math right? 18 people in 6-man tag.
That's not the problem. Yeah. Everyone's in factions and groups. That's why no one cares about anybody.
We have House of Black going up against the team of Darby Allin, Sting, and Miro.
Don't care.
Wow.
I like a lot of people in this match, and I'm going to say I don't care who wins. That's literally what I'm telling you right now.
I'm just tired of spooky gimmicks. I'm just tired of everyone going, ooh, I'm darkness. Persona. Yeah, okay, whatever. Why not give some Miro some run? Why not? Miro, Darby Allin, they're great.
Yeah, I think Miro's going to get the win here. Specifically, Miro's going to get the win.
Yes.
But it's another thing, right? To what, he's there to destroy darkness. Okay. Then when he does that, what's next? Does he find he
finds and kills God
person?
That's
his
next mission.
He goes after God. I don't really understand. It sounds cool. His promos sound cool.
They're great. I love
this
them.
This is incredible. But then you're like, but why are you in a wrestling company? This sounds like you should be teaming up with John Constantine or something to take on the devil. I don't know. But I think Miro gets the win. I think Miro specifically gets the win.
The Dark Justice League? Is that what we're doing?
I gotta give love to the Sarah Dweeb love in the chat. That's pretty cool.
Sarah Dweeb, baby. AEW champion. Let's same as Bingo. I don't care who wins. I don't care about this match.
Can I say though, I agree. I love everybody in it. I think everybody in it is incredible. I'm a huge Brody Lee fan, by the way. I think he's a
Brody King.
King. I think he's incredible.
Yeah, he's great.
But because no matter which side wins, I go, okay, now what?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the now what would be House of Black continues to be spooky, and then I don't know what happens with everybody else.
Stop with the spooky stuff. It's wrestling.
They are spooky.
Rabbit wants to be Darkwing Duck in these streets. Stop.
Darkwing Duck.
Get dangerous.
All right. Up next for the AEW THS Championship. Jade Cargill versus Athena.
Athena has to win this one. She has to win.
Cargill.
Athena.
Jade
No, here's
Jade
why
Cargill.
Jade should not win this match.
No,
she
Jade
should.
Cargill. There's no real reason why. Tell me why she shouldn't win.
No, you just said.
Tell me why. Tell me why she shouldn't win, Flobo.
Here's the reason why. Because you tell me, do you agree or not that Jade Cargill is a star?
Yes.
Do you agree or not that Jade Cargill was on a big winning streak?
I mean, that's fact.
Yes.
Do you agree or not that there's no one like Jade Cargill in that promotion today?
Yes.
Then why is she in a stupid division that's split on another night when she wrestles on Friday by herself? If she's really a top, she'd be going for the AEW Women's Championship and establish TBS if you're not going to fold it in as a secondary title. And who's more secondary than Athena?
I've been telling you, they don't like to have the people who can't lose face the people who can't lose. So they put Jade in her own division so that she can face people that it's okay for her to beat. And you can be mad. I'm just saying how it is.
And this is why she can't lose. I'm saying this is why she can't lose. This is why, because we've seen this happen. People lose, then what happens? She is their biggest women star. She is that. So you're telling me you want her to lose and then her just to be lost forever? You see those 4 people they have for that other women's title? You see that? You see those 4 people? You think Jade, like, I believe you. Jade should not drop the title to go to them. Jade should take the title that she has after winning, show up to Wednesday and take that shit from them because Jade is that star. Now, will they do that? I don't know, but she shouldn't lose. And Athena, she's not that girl. She's not it. She's not it. I think she's great. She's just not it to beat Jade. Just put her in this fatal 4-way.
To Neeson's credit, though, Neeson's right, though. If she loses, then on Wednesday, Jade needs to go after the women's championship, and there's no one that's stopping her. And if they did that, if Tony won and then got crushed by Jade Cargill, we would all be upset. If Britt Baker won just to get crushed by Jade Cargill, it would bury Britt Baker. There's not really a way you can do that. I think she's got to win.
This is called booking yourself into a corner, right? Because I always said this before. That's what I'm saying. Look, you have Jade Cargill, who was a physical specimen. She was pretty much green, but instead of saying, "Hey, look, let's have her get some seasoning," you had Tony Khan being like, "Oh, she sucks, but she's working one, she's training." You give her a title which still has no meaning or any kind of leverage, and you make her wrestle the most stupidest matches. And now at a pay-per-view where I should be like, "Man, can Jade Cargill fight against this?" I have an opponent who's not even good, and a division that she still wins this match means absolutely nothing. This sucks. I want you to blow up.
That's why
blow it all up, man. Start over. You get me upset in the street.
Have a barbed wire explosion back there.
No, not literally blow it up. I'm just saying,
I don't care. Blow it up.
It's so dumb. Why, Neeson?
That's why Jay can't lose. That's why. All the reasons you just said, that's why she can't lose. I agree with you. But then she lose. Then you lose a women's title on your secondary show. Then you lose any type of credibility without Jade with that title. That's what I'm saying.
If Jade loses the win streak, that's it. She's not has no appeal. Then is what you're saying? She can't lose ever?
No. I'm not saying she can't lose ever. Not at all. What I'm saying is records has shown when somebody does lose, they're not gonna know. One, they're not gonna know what to do with Jade. That's one. Two, that TBS title won't mean shit. You think it means nothing now? No, that's what I'm saying. You think it means nothing now?
I think it does.
You think it may mean nothing now?
Title.
Yeah, it's the B.
You're
title.
right, Jack. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is.
I'll take it back. Tony, cut this shit.
Yeah.
Love it.
That neck roll was great, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. You think it's that bad now? It's gonna be even worse when she drops it because they haven't done anything. Like Athena's not built up to even be credible enough to take it off. They're probably, and if they do it, it's just gonna be like, oh well, we got to do something, and that's not what you do. You don't do that.
The reason to do that.
So status quo to pay-per-view. This sucks.
Have you seen the card, Flobo?
You're right. You're right.
We're supposed to do rapid fire, Flobo.
I'm sorry.
He was heated. I said, if you have something to say, go for it.
Fine.
Did everyone say their predictions?
I'm too distraught.
Jade
wins. Gonna be Jade. Sorry,
Jade.
Athena. Jungle Boy versus Christian Cage. I sincerely hope we do the right thing and Jungle Boy wins this match.
Yeah, Jungle Boy.
If it's over, yes. If it's over, yes.
Please
if it's gonna
be over.
If it's not over, but it's been like 3 months. That's what I'm saying. If it's not over, then no.
This whole thing started because of a battle royal that Christian Cage lost like a year and a half ago. Like, what?
And if it's not done, then the answer can't be. It can't be.
Nah, it got to be done, son. Jack Perry, Jungle Boy, Jack Perry.
No more
Let's
Jungle
go,
Boy.
baby. I think this is a great way to get out of the Jungle Boy name and make him like an actual something that people can attach to, like more with a name, and use his name has status. He's Jack Perry, like he's a Perry.
Mm-hmm.
He's so I think him using that moving forward is great. So Jack Perry winning for sure.
My question to you guys: he wins, okay? Jack Perry wins. We get the new Jack Perry, great hair, looking like a star. What's next?
Ricky Starks.
Who does he face next? And he beats Ricky Starks, or Ricky Starks?
Does he beat him? I don't know.
I think he goes.
So you think he beats Christian just to go down to Ricky Starks right after?
No. If you beat Christian. If you beat Christian, you have to move somewhere closer to the TNT Championship. So maybe he gets into it with another legend like a Chris Jericho. Maybe he gets into something else. With maybe a Daniel Garcia. Yeah, he already got in. But I'm like the Lionheart. I don't know, like whatever he's called, the Wizard. Fuck shit. But when it but Daniel, you have Daniel Garcia over there. You have one of the isn't he? Who's going against 2.0? Who's 2.0 talking about right now? Oh, Hook. Okay, so that's Hook. So yeah, I think
let's say you put Jack Perry versus Hook. That's dangerous.
Yeah, yeah. I
there's
think
too much hair in that.
It's too much hair. Yeah, it's too much hair.
Volume.
That's volume. But I think you put him towards one of those heel factions. Maybe Andrade. Maybe you do that. You have the heels to make it work. They just need to actually pull the trigger, but they're scared of the records. Records matter, right?
Make him. Do we think? I guess just as a group that Jungle Boy is over. I think he is.
I think so.
Could he be more over? Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Could he do that by facing like our rogues gallery of heels? I think so. Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, you said Andrade. I was like, holy shit, that would be amazing.
That'd be great.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah,
you got Malachi Black right there. You got the whole Black, like you
every
House
single
of Black.
one of them. Yeah,
it'll be great. They have the people, so let's do it.
But assuming who's he beating, would you be okay with him beating everyone in the House of Black after Miro beats everybody in the House of Black?
I would be okay with him beating everybody, because nobody's going for a title right now. Yeah,
so you would give House of Black
a year,
2 big losses in a row, first to Miro, then to Jack Perry.
Why
that would kind of gut that team, wouldn't it?
But this is why it sucks, because if you talk about records mattering, right? Like this is why it kind of sucks, because you hold these quote unquote losses so seriously, but also it shouldn't matter if you're going in a serious feud and you make it really about something. Like if the House of Black haunted Jack Perry and did a whole thing to where like they kidnapped, like they kept trying to recruit him or whatever the case may be. Some they haunted him or whatever, and he went through Buddy Murphy first, or I don't know his AEW name. So
Buddy Matthews.
So he went through Buddy Matthews, and then he gets to Brody King, and he may lose once, right? Like they may go 1-1. They do a 2 out of 3, whatever the case may be, and then he gets to Malachi Black, and this could be ran for about 6 months to 8 months. And they could lose. One person could lose, or back and forth, whatever the case may be. I think it just needs to be more emphasis on, hey, you can lose, but everybody loses. This is professional wrestling, but you could get your win back eventually. So if all the records show that, then you could have great storytelling with Jack Perry and the House of Black. Then you can have great story with the Andrade and his family. Then you can have great story. Like, you could have that. So if you're going to have these factions, use these fucking heel factions to build your babyface superstars.
Also, we still have the Luchasaurus factor in all of this.
Oh yeah.
With Jungle Jack Perry, where, I mean, if he goes into a feud with the House of Black, I mean, like you said, they could do some spooky magic.
No more spooky stuff.
And then he would have to run through 4 members of House of Black.
Dude, they're wrestlers. Stop with the spooky stuff.
They're spooky, though.
Did you tell the Undertaker that for the last 30 years?
Yeah, that was 30 years ago. Yeah. I'm over it.
Stop in general. Everything. Anyway,
I'm okay with spooky stuff, but it's got to mean something.
It got to mean something. Yes, that's what I'm saying. It has to mean something.
Rolling.
If it's just someone sitting in a dark room going, "The forests of darkness are growing into the asylums of your mind," like, what are you talking about? Just tell me you want to get shot the title.
Oh, so you hate Bray Wyatt? Okay, cool.
All right. Another 6-man tag team match, the one we've mentioned a couple of times.
Longer than the show. Jesus.
I wouldn't say that.
FTR versus Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns. FTR and Wardlow, the pinnacle.
You know what? Hot take. FTR is like pancakes. They're fine. They're not great. They're not fabulous. They're okay. Why is everyone thinking they're that awesome?
I think they're great. I think they're the best tag team in the world.
What does that even mean, Jack? They're boring.
I think every time you have a tag team match with them, you are watching one of the best tag team matches in the world you're going to get.
I think I'm more into the idea of FTR. I think having a revival tag team is great, but the execution is kind of square.
I think you're wrong.
I mean,
what think your duty in?
I will also say, I think
lit liquor.
Dax is possibly in. He could be in the talk for Wrestler of the Year.
I agree. 100%. I agree.
Up. And I didn't think I'd be saying that a year ago.
No,
did you not watch FTR versus Briscoe?
That's what was the question?
Did you not watch FTR versus Briscoes?
No, it's fine. I think they're good. I know what I think the issue is.
Oh my god, are you doing a me impression with Adam Cole 2 years ago?
No, I think they're better than the Young Bucks, and I'm a Young Buck hater. That's my point of reference. But I do think FTR is fabulous what they do. Whoa. But the having the lack of flair has been their signature for so long that it's really hard to like get on board. Like, the matches are great. I never buy a ticket for an FTR match. I know it's going to deliver. I know it's going to be awesome, but it's always like, oh shit, FTR has a match on set. I'm going to check it out. It's like, they're fine.
I don't even think it's the lack of flair thing anymore. That's not even who they. I feel like you're looking at a 4-year-old version of the FTR.
No, I'm not saying the flip stuff.
That's not even their shtick really anymore.
The
whole like when they have a match. They, like I said, they make it feel like if you're watching them wrestle on a big show, they aren't just fighting for a win. They are fighting for the title of the best wrestling tag team in the world, and they're going to try to be the best tag team in history. I know you could say that's a presentation thing, or that's just like what they've kind of created as sort of who they're supposed to be, or a character thing, but that's part of it. Just like Roman Reigns, he's created that aura. I think FTR in their own way have a similar aura as a tag team.
I think there's certain wrestlers that have this category. I know Pinkle's let's do rapid fire, but like I think Keith Lee was a big example I had on the other side. When I am watching a Keith Lee match, I go, oh, this guy's amazing. This guy's dope. This guy's all right. But it always takes me time to get there. So I'm never excited for an FTR match on paper. I know on Sunday they're going to deliver, but the idea of FTR, I'm never like, oh shit, Dax Harwood, baby, Owen Hart tournament. I just go, okay, fine. But somehow it sounds like I'm just totally dragging these guys, and Jack gets upset.
No, you were
literally like
you were dragging.
I said that. I like pancakes. I like pancakes.
No, you dragging.
You're backpedaling big time.
I'm not backpedaling at all.
Go back to the tapes.
I'm not backpedaling at all. I'm saying that the match delivers, but I'm never hyped when you say, "Oh, the FTR has a match." I'm not like, "Oh shit, FTR." It's more like, "All right, it's fine."
No, I'm more shocked because you do literally sound like me 2 to 2.5 years ago with Adam Cole.
Adam Cole, baby.
Like it's. Did you watch some old me tapes and just replace?
Like
it's very
dream.
strange.
You are
my
backpedaling more than a
I am
person
not
on a pickup
backpedaling though.
bike
My
right now. You
do
have
not
no
change.
brakes.
You're
You have
backpedaling.
no brakes, bro.
What did I change? Well, hold on. What did I change? What did I change?
Now you're like, oh, they always deliver.
They do, but that's what I said. You said RTR has a match, which is what Pingle said for the card Sunday, and I go, And he goes, hey, how'd you say? I go, yeah, they deliver, but I'm never down. I'm never on board with the match on paper going into it. I just
He's saying that they are fine wrestlers.
They're fine.
Doesn't get it.
Right.
Pingle knows the language.
I know the language.
So I don't know what the backpedaling is. That I take offense to that. I go head first all the time.
Yeah,
it's fair to be taking offense to it. You do always go head first through the barbershop window.
Damn it, Jack! Why?
But I think maybe you're not excited like for this. Like, I'm not excited for this one, even though Motor City Machine Guns is an all-time favorite group of mine. I think FTR is best in the world right now. I think Wardlow's a star. I think Jay Lethal is the guy.
Jay Lethal is also okay.
There. I like him. I like him, but in any case, I think this feels like a throwaway match. I think if this was presented like a big time matchup, if they were defending the titles against, I would be more excited if this was Motor City Machine Guns versus FTR for like the Impact tag titles. Then I'd be like, oh, this is big time, or for Ring of Honor titles, whatever you want to.
I want Time Splitters back, baby. Time Splitters.
We're all nerds.
I love it. All right, we got the Casino Ladder match up next. Claudio versus Wheeler versus Penta versus Rey Fenix versus Rush versus Andrade El Idolo versus Dante Martin versus To Be Determined. I'll tell you right now, everyone in this match besides Claudio and possibly whoever To Be Determined is, I'm like, I feel like Moxley, if Moxley is the champion come the end of the night, has wrestled every single one of those people and beaten them soundly, or I don't really care to see it. So I'm thinking it's Claudio or whoever our mystery person is. That's just my gut feeling. Although, go ahead.
Has a mystery person ever lost in one of these?
Yes.
Matt Seidel?
No, that was the
battle
royal. But for the casino, because Brian Cage won, and that's the one I remember. So therefore, I say it is.
What's his name? Scorpio Sky.
Was he He wasn't the mystery one though, was he?
He wasn't a mystery. He wasn't a mystery one.
Oh, he wasn't.
This would be infuriating for a number of reasons.
Actually, I would love to see Moxley pummel.
You know what? Yeah, actually, that would be
great. We don't have enough time to talk about why you guys hate Sammy. Sammy's great.
That's look here. Like he's good at his job, which is why it's fun to see him get pummeled.
He's really great. I think he's amazing. I'm gonna go with Claudio because I don't think Mox will win the title at the end of the night, and I think I still stick to my guns that CM Punk will be the biggest heel in that company, or they will try to make him that way moving forward, and having a ROH-esque main event with Claudio versus Punk is like Tony's wet dream. So I think that's what we're doing. Or what?
We're talking ROH history, Punk versus Samoa Joe.
Oh well, yes. If the mystery person is Samoa Joe, I absolutely think it'll be Samoa Joe versus Punk, and we.
It sounds like you're picking two people. You got to pick one. You got to TBD.
As Jack says, I'm going for what I'm given. I'm gonna go with Claudio because I don't know who the mystery person is, and if I knew, I would pick differently. But since I don't, I'm going with Claudio.
The most AEW thing ever is giving to Dante Martin and then just feeding him the Moxie the week after. So that's my choice.
Shit.
Honestly, that would probably I don't necessarily want to see it, but it'd probably be fun.
I feel like that's racist. That's all I'm going to say.
What?
But also, I mean, that would be the worst and then what of everything we've talked about. Oh, he won this and then just got beat the next week.
Right. That is the issue. Because the thing with like Money in the Bank, which is this is compared to, everyone who goes into Money in the Bank, like they could win it all. I don't believe in these guys.
Could win it all.
I don't believe in these guys. So I
don't either. But I mean, besides Claudio, and that's really only because it's Claudio, and that's it.
And I will say, we did our favorite all-time wrestlers list on MACKMANIA. Pentagon is one of my top 10 favorite wrestlers of all time. I love Penta. I just don't believe he's gonna win the title. So I don't believe he's gonna win this. So
all right. Up next, AEW World Tag Team Championship match. Swerve in Our Glory versus the Acclaimed. I think Acclaimed for the, I guess, upset, even though I don't know if I'd really consider it one. And then we can just have Swerve and Keith go their own ways.
That you cannot have Swerve and Keith lose that fast, that soon. I say Swerve and Keith win and continue to plant seeds of their eventual Jack and Flobo demise. But, I think Acclaim is doing great. I think the Ass Boys probably cost Acclaim the titles.
No,
Flobo and I will win the titles before I throw him through the glass window. Okay?
Oh, I know. That's why, as I said, that's exactly what happened with. That's exactly what happened with Swerve and Keith Lee.
But see, this is where why isn't FTR versus Swerve in Our Glory? That's the match. And if this was Dynamite, I'd be like, this is great. But this is their biggest show of the year. Give us the biggest match. Swerve in Our Glory versus FTR. That's what we should be watching right now.
Is All Out the biggest show of the year, or is it the other one?
Revolution.
No, you're talking about Double or Nothing. All Out is their it's their tap. That was the first show. All In was the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is their back home. Chicago, the whole shit.
Mm-hmm. It's one of their 17 times in Chicago a year.
Yeah, 17 times in a month. It feels like they go.
I'm going Swerve in Our Glory. I think they retain.
Yeah, I think so too. I hate it.
Island by myself. That's fine.
doesn't really excite me.
I don't think it's a bad pick. By the way,
listen.
So
everybody loves the Acclaim.
Everybody loves the Acclaim. I think the Acclaimed are great, actually.
I do.
Their estimation, really.
Those are me.
Their estimation.
It's kind of an overestimation. Everyone.
Team Taz collides.
What?
Ricky Starks versus Powerhouse Hobbs.
What?
That's my question.
I mean, if it's not, I mean, I like both of these guys, but if it's not Ricky Starks, then Ricky might want to make a phone call to New York.
Ricky Starks has got to win this match.
Yeah.
He's got it. He is build the company around Ricky Starks already. This is your guy. Give him big wins. They give him dominant wins, not like squashing people wins, but like clean, solid wins. I think Powerhouse is the first big win, and then you have him beat someone else who's incredible, and then maybe you give him have him win a title, a TNT title or something, or start sniffing around that world title. But you better start. They gotta give him a strong win here, I think.
This is my Steve Harvey GIF. What is going on with? No, I agree. Ricky Starks has to win this one. But talk about low stakes. I mean, Powerhouse Hobbs, he hasn't been a threat. And to be honest with you, that was the original sin, because 2 years ago he was the guy. And now you're like, well, if Ricky Starks wins it, as he should, it goes, well, what is the momentum for that? You know what? That should have been Wardlow. Give me Wardlow. Yes, Ricky Starks win this, but of what cost? It's kind of a waste of time. I'm not really seeing what's the fallout of this. I'm just kind of over it.
Ricky Starks needs to win. Do I think he's gonna win? Probably not, but he needs to win, and you build him for Punk. Ricky Starks versus Punk eventually, I think, will be fantastic. Put Ricky Starks in the main event and watch him cook. See what star you got.
Well, this match actually isn't determined yet, but I will just I mean, it's obvious what it's going to be for the AEW World Trios titles. The Dark Order and Hangman Page. That's my prediction versus the Elite. I mean, the only really long-term storytelling we have here. I think this is actually, I mean, I assume they're going to put him on the Bucks and Omega, but I would not be surprised if Hangman ends up winning this for the Dark Order.
Hedging the bets.
And then we kind of go like, well, you said you weren't going to be in the tournament, and now all of a sudden you are. And we just go from there. I don't know. This one's a toss-up to me.
I think Dark Order wins.
I think Dark Order wins.
I think the story is Kenny Omega finds out that he was the Bucks' second choice.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Dark
Kota
Order
Ibushi comes out.
I think, yeah, there you go. And then there you go. And then you have Bucks versus those two. And that is great television and storytelling. This, I think, is actually being done very well. It's a lot of the other stuff that's a little.
Well, it seems like they're booking their own shit. And one thing that the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and Hangman, the Elite in general, they've been booking their own stories for the last almost 10 years now with being the Elite. Like that's what actually, I mean, that's what got me into watching like all the other promotions more. What they were doing was the stories that were booking on BTE with their little skits and things that just happened to play out in a ring. So I think I agree with you, Jack. I think definitely Dark Order wins. I think Dark Order wins also because Tony owes Dark Order, man. Like he owes them big. Like when they were over, he did nothing with them on a continuous basis. And then he just kept having them lose. And even worse part, they would lose on like Dark or Elevation. And it's like,
Dark's in their name.
Yeah, these are your most over group. And even after Brody passed, they were like at their apex. You did nothing with them. So Hangman, even with the Hangman title thing, you did nothing with them. Like Hangman lost the title, defending Punk, and they weren't even on TV with him. It was all through BTE. And not everyone watches BTE. And so with that said, they got to win. That story between Kenny and Hangman, Young Bucks, I think it's a fantastic story that could last into Double or Nothing or Fallout. I mean, Full Gear or Revolution, right? Like you have, I'm saying you have these months that you can tell this story with. And so I think, side note, really hard side note, isn't LAX Fan Fest this weekend?
I guess.
No.
It's September 4th, right?
No. It's the weekend that I'm not here. It's the 24th.
Okay. Because I'm like, what the, like, it bet not be. My God.
It's the 24th.
Okay. All right. Side note. That was just side note because I was like, I know AEW stars will be there as well. But it's just it's an incredible story. I think the three of them win. And then on the other side, you still have the Undisputed Elite or the Elite or the Pentagon, whatever they're fucking called. You still have them waiting for whoever comes out of that. But I don't know who will be the third. I guess Roddy, when Roddy leaves and goes over there, Roddy and Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole. I don't know how the fuck that is. Like, I don't know.
Future Shock? That was their tag team.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm saying I get it.
All right. I mean, I'm kind of toss up, but I would love to see. I agree. I feel like Silver and Reynolds they're a solid tag team on their own. I think they deserve a little shine here with Hangman. I think that'd be cool. All right. Main event. Jon Moxley versus CM Punk for the AEW World Championship.
No step.
Punk.
I think it's Punk.
It has to be Punk.
And the story is Punk, but I really want Jon Moxley to win.
Whoa, really want Jon Moxley to win?
Yeah, I really want Jon Moxley.
Why?
To win. I am behind John Moxley. I'm part of the.
Are you a Moxonite?
That's not a thing, is it? I hope not.
Yeah, it's a thing. That's what they call each other on the Twitter. Yeah.
Oh, Moxonite.
Okay. Hello, my fellow Moxonites. No, I've really grown to appreciate John Moxley over the past few years. I'll be honest, when he came to AEW, I was like, Dean Ambrose, he's not anything. He's totally bought me, or I've totally bought into him, or whatever. Oh. He bought me. But the point is, I'm just a big fan of his, and while I appreciate the efforts of the work that has gone into this all-out match, and I think that a lot of people did a lot of stuff and worked really hard with what they had, with the time they had, it just feels it doesn't. If I don't know if CM Punk wins, it's going to feel very predictable in a bad way. You know, when Adam Page won, it was predictable in a good way. I feel like this is predictable in a bad way.
A bad way, as in like they're gonna boo him and he's gonna be the biggest heel bad way, or bad way as in like this isn't gonna move the needle?
Well, they're in Chicago, so I don't know if they'll boo him, and that if he's going to be a bad guy, this is the worst place for him to try to do it.
That crowd, it wasn't 100% behind him.
Well, they may not be, but it's Chicago. I mean, what are they? I think they'll be behind him if he wins. Even if he cheats, I don't know. I can't imagine them booing him for winning in Chicago.
If he cheats,
what if he has help from someone we haven't seen in a while?
What if
it's
Roman
Reigns
comes out and helps him?
Oh,
if it's MJ, but I don't care what MJF does. By the way, I don't care what he does. He could come out and punch Tony Khan in the face. He's gonna get cheered like crazy when he comes out.
You don't care what he does? What about MJF and not care about what he does?
I'd love to share a refreshing beverage with MJF.
Peak Sarah Dweeb. That's.
But seriously, imagine MJF's music hitting and people not losing their minds and booing. Like, are you kidding me? Or if he comes out and like hits someone, hits a low blow or something, they're gonna love it. Like, we were in that crowd in Dynamite. Even then, we were cheering for him. And now that he's been gone,
it was so great.
That was so great. It was great. It was amazing.
He cannot, he will not get booed. No matter what he does, he will not get booed.
So then, how do you make Punk? I'm sorry, Flobo. Go ahead, Flobo.
I was listening to you.
Because I'm just worried about. You have Moxley. I think it goes to that adage. Like, you have Moxley win, and it's only thing that you could point to is MJF. So MJF versus Mox, when, like you just said, MJF is nothing you can do. They're going to cheer MJF. So it has to be Punk. Because Punk has already been.
And they do boo, but MJF comes out and they cheer and forget about it.
Yeah.
I don't think MJF's going to get involved. Because
no, I don't think so.
From a story standpoint, it doesn't make sense. If he left, it doesn't make sense. The reasons why he left wouldn't make sense for him to come back to help another, because they're both WWE guys. So no matter who he helps, it's like, why did you help a former WWE guy? That doesn't make sense.
Because he has all the contacts, and when his contract's up, he can get in easier.
Sheesh.
I mean, so whenever he comes back, it's got to be something that is more to leverage a contract or do something with Tony Khan. It can't just be, now I'm trying to get a title shot. Like, why does he want to be the champion of a company he begged to get fired from? You know, that doesn't make sense from a story.
It's Fred Jacobs. He's in the Impact Zone. No, I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm with you. I do think that MJF does come out. Punk winning is probably the worst for business, because even if he deserves to win this match, there's enough internet swirling, which AEW listens to, that will probably be a bad decision for it. And so, even though Mox has been the strongest champion in AEW, he's now become a folk hero with his own personal demons battling, and Renee Paquette, and being down for the brand forever. You keep a title on him, and then you find the next challenger.
Yeah, I mean,
all right.
TK's a TK's a Punk fan, so I don't really know if
he paid for him. I get it. Look, everyone hates Punk and says he lost a step. I get it. But Tony Khan went to the store and go, how much do you cost? Here do you go. And for a while, when things were going slow on Dynamite, 805, that's he kept doing that because that's the toy he wanted. I get it. But there has to be a time you look around as a businessman unless you're just that bad or working just purely in the heart where you go, this is a bad decision for your brand if you do this.
Just like Punk went to the store and bought Jack, Tony went to the store and bought Punk, you know, and I think that's how it goes, man. And Jack's a Moxonite.
I've been a Moxonite ever since the cash register went off, you know.
Ching, ching.
But
when the check cleared, yeah.
But look, I think Punk makes sense as a champion. I get him being featured. I get him being a champion. I don't hate Punk, but to have him crushed, then go through I think I'm gonna quit, and then go through wait, maybe I can, to go through, then suddenly become you can't kill me in like 10 minutes is like, what?
That was wild.
I liked it.
Like, that's a story you tell, like, for that, they crammed it all in so quickly. It feels very corny to me. Now, I will say, I think Punk did a hell of a job doing the promo. Yeah. I think Mox they all did fantastic jobs. It's just, you went through so many, like, feelings in one moment that it's hard to believe any of them.
Yeah.
But I think CM Punk is a good person to have as a champion. I just think the timing is weird with how everything went.
Yeah. Well, goodness.
Rapid fire,
almost 40 minutes. Hey, but it was good. It was good. We got to give the people what they want.
He's
you think that man comes out? You think is he ready to go?
He has already peaked in rating. I'll put it that way.
Whoa, what? Oh, yeah, that's why come back home, sir. Come back home. Where all you have to do is ring the freaking bell.
Why do you want Adam Cole in WWE so much, right? If you like Adam Cole, it doesn't matter where he's employed.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. I wanted him on TV. It doesn't really matter to me, but apparently. Exactly. You see that? You see how that works? I don't care where. If I like them, I'm going to watch them. But if they're not on TV, if they're not being.
Well, he's hurt right now. That's not fair.
He's one of the best mics, like, today. You can't use him I guess now they don't have Red Dragon, which is crazy, but like you can't use him to like talk up Red Dragon in your tag team division.
We just talked about how there's not enough people who are healthy that can't get time. Why are you giving time to a guy who can't wrestle?
Because the guy is money. I
love Adam Cole, baby.
Bigger got months in a wheelchair.
You said what?
Bigger got months in a wheelchair. DMD.
Yeah. She came. Yeah. She had the roll. She was
the only person in the division at the time that was getting TV.
Yeah, Big Swole. You had
disfigured record.
You had Nyla. You had Big Swole. Yeah,
I met Rio. I meant who was getting TV time.
Yeah,
right.
She was the only person getting TV time.
Right. Yeah. All right, fine. I'll switch it.
All right. Well, this was an absolute joy. A lot of fun, guys.
We're never gonna invite it back ever again. Guaranteed.
Yeah, never again. We're changing the website. You'll never get in there again. You know what? That's who should have signed the open contract for Moxley. Moxley versus Sasha Banks. I would have been.
It wasn't a good match. I'm never excited for Sasha.
You know what, though? You know what? I know she's probably still with WWE, but if they did have Sasha Banks come out and sign that contract, the world would lose its mind, and their buy rate would be 100 million buys.
And then she beats him in 5 minutes.
And I would be a million of them. I would be a million of the buys.
Where's Naomi?
Like, yeah, you're talking about a publicity stunt, though. That would have gotten people intrigued.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, guys, thank you for joining us. Jack, where can the people find you on the interwebs?
You can find me at Real Jack Farmer across all social media. And you can also check me out on my Twitch stream. It's fairly new, so go give me a follow. It's twitch.tv/RealJackFarmer.
That's right.
Lobo?
That's right. Right. Go follow him on that Twitch.
Yeah,
channel,
by the way, Neeson is the current undisputed, unified, universal champion of the meaningless debates, where I bring people on and they debate random lists we find online. Who's going to be his next challenger? Maybe one of the people you see on this screen, or someone else. I don't know. I haven't booked.
Definitely not going to be Flobo. Flobo's in the back of the line. You may have been the first champion, but you got to earn your spot back up, sir. You know, got to earn it.
I am.
Flobo, are you going to let him talk to you like that?
We don't play
yes, I am.
Are you a former?
Yes, I am.
Yes, I'm taking this
line. A former champion is going to stand there. Well,
he's a first-time champion. He's the first loser. He's the first loser. That's what it is.
So help me God.
This bitch on my back here, whippersnapper. I don't want to hear a damn thing out of your mouth.
If Neeson dropped a open contract, I would slap Flobo in the face to fire him up.
See you next week on Dynamite.
Flobo, where can the people find you on the internet?
Well, yeah, I'm going to be all hating on Neeson over at Flobo Boys on Twitter and at Flobito on that Instagram. But yes, Flobito.com, FLOBITO.com. Come say hello, yo.
Neeson?
Well, you could find the reigning, defending, undisputed, two-time title defense of the meaningless. We said what? Are you saying battle? Are you doing a roast battle chat right now? Roast battle chat. But you can find me at Stay Fly Life on Twitter, Instagram. I've been back on my TikTok. Yeah, I'm TikToking again. That's pretty fun. And that's about it. Or on Intercession. That's still a thing. But also have some movies and stuff coming. But that Intercession's a thing.
All right. And you can find me everywhere at JP Thrice, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, doing the Twitch stuff as well. Playing Rumbleverse. If you guys haven't checked out Rumbleverse, you need to check that out.
Tag team champions right here, guys. That's what we're doing.
We did it. We did it. How do I point?
Multiverse as well, guys. I've been playing that. I need to get back on my Twitch game stream. I love Multiverse. I've been playing Multiverse a lot.
Yeah, it's on Steam, right? Or is it a console?
It's free. It's free on everything.
Okay, check it out.
Everywhere. Guys, once again, this has been a lot of fun.
It's been fun.
We got to do this again soon. That wasn't like a spoiler for anyone in the chat. I don't know. We have nothing planned. All right. So Facebook.com/THS Wrestling News, YouTube.com/that#show TV, Instagram.com/THS.wrestling, Twitch.tv/that#show. And most importantly, guys, that#show.com for everything trending in geek pop culture. And we'll see you guys Saturday afternoon